Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming here at the very beginning. We're going to get this going. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. And if you don't know what it's about, we're starting bang on time at 6 o'clock, which is excellent. It's just about talking into this microphone about whatever you want to talk about. My name's Mikey. Let's find out who we got around the table. Tell us your name.
My name is John.
Okay, who's on sound effects? Round of applause. Round of applause.
Eggers.
Yes.
Shabs.
Shabs, yes.
Roxy.
And who we got over here?
Sam.
Sam and
Christopher.
Christopher, welcome. Let's give Christopher a round of applause. Yes. Come and join us. Yes, you can come in. Yes. Come in. Come in. Yes. Do you want to talk about the Champions League and what happened with Arsenal? What happened with Arsenal yesterday? Oh no, that's probably bad subject. Bad subject. Whoops. That's a bit of a. Where were we? Christopher, tell us your name.
Eleanor.
And I'm Mikey, and yes, so this is Talkaoke. As I said before, it's kind of up to you to decide what you want to talk about. We've got Christopher, who is our cunning visualizer, that's going to visualize as we go along. Welcome, come and tell us your name.
Hello, my name is Sam.
Let's have a round of applause. Okay, come have a seat. We have just started. We don't have a subject yet. Come in. Let's hit the round of applause button. And real round of applause, real human round of applause. Come and have a seat. Move around, yes. So, we've got Eggers, we've got Sam, we have got Shabs, we have got Roxy, we've got another Sam, we have got Christopher, we have got Helena, we have got, who have we got here?
Chris.
Sit in the Chris section.
Carl.
Was it?
Carl.
Gary.
No, Carl.
Carl.
That's me.
And who have we got over here? We've got John here, we've got Eggers, I can't remember, I've got Dizzy now, tell us your name.
Oh, hi, I'm Margot.
Margot, just a polite smattering of applause from Margot. Okay, so we haven't actually really started, and we don't have a subject yet, but I wouldn't worry about it too much, because it could be anything. Go on, John, you got something?
Well, I thought that you'd said on your notices that this was going to be a Talkaoke on Aberfeldy.
We are on Aberfeldy.
Right, so it was to be Aberfeldy Tales.
That is correct.
Which is why I am here. So I hope it goes. Well, I have lived in this area for 50 years. 50. Actually, nearer 60, but 50 years in this bit. And I was thinking, if you look at this street that we're on here, how it's changed. Because where the chicken shop used to be a supermarket, and on the other side...
Really? What kind of supermarket was it?
A small one-shop supermarket run by a man called Peter.
Right.
And then you had a butcher's, a baker's. We didn't have a candlestick baker's, they didn't.
Maybe that's where I went wrong.
But then you had the post office.
Yeah.
So it was more like the old-fashioned...
High street.
Well, no, not a high street. The sort of old-fashioned local... More market, but in shops, not market. They were all... Well, all along here.
Were there any empty shops?
Not when I first came.
Right, okay.
And
what year was that? Just
oh goodness me! Yes, it must have been 72 or 73.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe later that I actually went. And one of the things I'm sad that we've lost is if you look on the corner there, we had a Chinese shop.
I know you for
But before the Chinese shop, it used to be a wet fishmonger's.
Right.
And what made me really like it was that every so often the fishmonger would smoke his own fish.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that's something you don't see these days. But, you know...
I don't know, there's a few people smoking their own outside.
I was going to say, yeah, some people are smoking other things these days, aren't they?
Anyway.
So was just, I just wondered, you can see the change.
Yeah, well, that's an excellent place, I think, to start it. In the meantime, a few new people have dropped in, so tell us your name.
Jaspal.
Can we give Jaspal a round of applause?
Wow, just to say my name. This is easy. Good
Yeah,
guy.
see, yes, that's how it works. So, Jaspal, we've got Christopher, we've got Chris, we have got Helena, we've got Carl, we've got Margot on the camera, we have got, who have we got over here?
Joe.
We've got Joe. Let's have a round of applause for Joe. Come and join us. Tell us your name. Andrew. Andrew, come and have a seat. We've got John, who's been telling us about Aberfeldy 50 years ago. All full shops, not all full shops, all full shops. A butcher, a baker, no candlestick maker. And that's where it's kind of interesting how it's evolved. Obviously, it's had its ups and downs, and that's where we are. Anyway, I was doing introductions, so I'll just do it even faster. Just about Chris, Helena, Carl, Margot, Andrew, Joe, come in. Tell us your name. Claire. We've got Joe over here that was telling us about Aberfeldy Street 50 years ago. We've got Eggers, we've got Sam, we've got Shabs, we've got Roxy, we've got Sam again, and I'm Mikey. And anyone been here for that sort of length of time? Someone over here?
I was living here like 3 years ago.
3 years
Three
ago,
and a half years ago, yeah. Just next street.
Okay. I
In
mean, do you feel like
D
it's...
Street.
Yeah.
And
D Street.
D Street, yeah.
Yeah. The D Street.
D Street, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
so I moved out like 2 years ago, but I still miss this place. And now it's been made tremendously nice.
Yeah.
And the square there,
Yeah.
it wasn't there that time actually, 3 years
What
ago.
was it back then?
The buildings were there, but it was sort of, I'm a city boy.
Yeah.
So for me it was quite boring,
Yeah.
because I like to see livelihood and people, you know. But it was kind of a bit lonely. But
Okay.
I'm really happy to be here tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, that's definitely a round of applause. So, anyone here for the very first time? Just, yes. What's your impression of this street, this area? Just say whatever comes to your head.
It's very colourful.
Yeah? Do you like it?
I do like it. I'd say it's the first time. First time I've stopped. I've driven past and
Yeah.
circled. Yeah, I've driven past.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is nice and colourful. What's going on here?
Yeah.
So
So it's
then I
something-
turned up.
It's something that elicits curiosity.
Yeah.
Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. So we've got 50 years, 3 years. Can anyone get close?
Well, we've just literally come here to do a course here, and it's coming up to what, 11 weeks now?
Yeah.
And I think the people, the atmosphere is just amazing.
So yeah. I mean,
It's
are you
open.
familiar with this area from before?
No.
Okay, so you've never been here before. Have you been here, Sam?
My ex-outlaws live here.
Ex-outlaw.
Live here, so hopefully they don't walk past because I'll be ducking. I'll be hiding.
I mean, do you think it's changed since you first went to visit them?
Oh, most definitely. Like you're saying, there wasn't all these beautiful buildings and the co-op and Britannia,
Yeah.
gone from a tiny little shop to this huge, humongous pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, and all these little pop-up shops and then apparently Londis has been there for like 27 years.
Yeah.
So, and I miss the Chinese shop because I used to, back in the day, used to buy my odd Chinese.
A favourite order?
I think it was chow mein, just
Chow
normal,
mein,
yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what, but that's really it.
Okay. Any other experiences of Aberfeldy? Any thoughts? You got something to give us?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, anything on
I came here by chance
Yeah.
because I was working for social services at a house nearby, and I was early, so I decided to go for a walk, and that's how I found you.
Right. Okay. So it's just
Going for a walk.
Pure chance.
Yeah.
And what was your thoughts in coming here and finding a pop-up talk
curiosity.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah.
I came and asked people what they were doing, and that was it. Yeah.
What I was going to add,
Yeah.
that Aberfeldy comes under Poplar, but if you're looking for Poplar, you won't find Aberfeldy.
Right,
Because you're like, hold on a minute, this is Poplar, but there's another pot of Poplar about a mile down the road called Aberfeldy. So it gets a bit, because I think it should be, I should have its own post.
Is it a bit hidden here?
It's very much hidden.
Yeah.
mu-
Okay, go on, Chris. I guess.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt Sam.
No, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar to the man over there, I kind of discovered this through attending an event on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Came back this way, and lo and behold,
Yeah.
this kind of micro community almost, extraordinary. Absolutely, kind of I'm going to use the word enchanting to an extent, right? It's quiet. There's solitude and tranquility. There are trees. It's colorful.
Yeah.
You know, and people say hello as well. And they don't walk, past you po-faced, right? But they actually say, "Hi, how you doing?" I'm like, "Whoa," I'm not used to that. Yeah, Are we in London? Yeah.
Is this the only part of London where people say hello to each other? Are there other parts?
I don't want to disrespect other boroughs or anything like that, but it's quite remarkable here. It's very pronounced. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And bravo. Bravo.
Okay. Yes, let's have a round of applause. Yeah, I mean, you're doing a great job. Can you give yourself a round of applause for pressing the button? Yes, okay. So, I mean, we've got the stories here. We've got that. I mean, we've got like 50 years ago. It's a very quite a long kind of fast forward to 3 years ago. There was a bit. I mean, you were getting your chow mein somewhere in between that. Has anyone else got?
And my chicken and chips.
And chicken and chips?
Chips
yes,
and chips.
we've got a sound pack for that.
Yeah. Also, if I can add
Yeah.
that down the road there was a lovely lady called Pat. I don't know if you know, who used to run an advice centre.
Right, yeah.
And that advice centre was in the hub of the community, making sure that everybody got,
Yeah.
somebody to advocate for them for whether it was housing benefit, whatever, anything, even if it was your garage. And I worked there as well.
Oh, you worked there
I
as well?
did.
Okay.
Can I believe I forgot about that? Yeah, with lovely Pat, but unfortunately she passed away. God rest herself. So yeah.
Where was that? What number was that?
It was literally next door to the chicken shop, which is now the boxing. I don't know the door number, but I just remember I was there.
Okay, is there anyone right there now giving advice and helping people out?
Well, I've heard there's an art collective called The People Speak based right there.
Yeah.
They're called The People Speak, and they do this talk show called Talkaoke, and sometimes they like to go to number 39, which is where we are today, but but I just wanted to say that, what did I want to say? Yeah, Aberfeldy stories. I think we're really interested in hearing different stories, but also what are the big themes that are kind of coming up. And we're very, very lucky today because we've got Christopher who's visualizing. Maybe you already said that.
Yes, I have.
And Joe who just popped out. So yeah, whatever ideas you say, they will turn them into something creative. So yeah, anyway, sorry. I was just kind of, how does it work? Yeah, just say what you want to say, then come and see us for a cup of coffee in our studio at number 29. You know it well.
27 is.
Have I confirmed? Oh my God, yeah, 27. Yeah, 20. We can go to boxing club, they're friends, but I don't know. I don't know what their approach would be, but yeah. So if you want to get involved, chat to us, and that's it. And in the summer, we're going to put on some workshops. So if you want to make a comedy show, but you don't quite know how, just let us know. We'll make it happen. Yeah, don't come to me.
What's that? Was there something like that?
No, I was just saying how amazing we could do a comedy show. Like we could actually do one.
Yeah.
And our trio, Asian ladies with our. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
My daughter says to me, "You should do a TikTok,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Forget TikTok. We'll do the top. Like you could train us. There we go.
Yes, we can do that.
There we go. If I've got partners in crime, I can do it. Yeah.
We can can make it happen. That's easy. That's easy.
Well, we're here now.
We're here now.
Yeah, okay, but we haven't got our comedy expert today. We've got some.
But I mean, like, but can you? Yeah, you can try out some material today, but also, I mean, are there any comedic things? I mean, what is, like, can you tell a story in a funny way? Like, does anybody have any jokes, gags, or anything like this? Can Aberfeldy's story be?
About Aberfeldy Street, is it the fact that everyone? I mean, we've heard a few things about Aberfeldy Street. Everyone says hello in this area. We've heard it used to have a butcher, a baker, but not a candlestick maker.
Yep,
Maybe that's where it went wrong.
maybe.
That's my gag.
Yep, you can keep it.
Yeah.
And you're killing
It's yours. You're killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard it's a very colourful place, you know, so I mean, there's lots of different things, you know, it's not for...
I mean, what is, I want to find out what the trio is going to be doing as the comedy stick.
I was going to actually say to these good ladies, please do, because last year we had an event where people told stories and did a small bit like a comedy show, and it's one of the best evenings I've had in a long time, and we're looking forward to get people to doing the same again this year. So I would say, please come along and just try it together. It was wonderful.
Is it going to be the same this year?
There's definitely going to be a performance night, so I want to see some comedy, I want to see poetry, I want to see music, everything, anything.
So the same but bigger and better?
Bigger and better, with more people, new people.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to take your comedy seriously. You may not want that approach, but we will, and we could definitely help you to hone down your material. I mean, what kind of comedy do you like? What are your comedy inspirations? Yeah.
No, I have to say, just generally, if us three are sitting outside and people were to hear us speak, I'm rolling on the floor with laughter. We're all rolling. People would actually find us funny. Yeah. So I'm just thinking it's a bit ad-libbing. It's not actually a...
so you go more improvised.
Absolutely. Yeah. We could just throw in a few things. And Roxy's just naturally a really funny person. Yeah, she is. And it's just like that. So
what makes a naturally funny person?
Oh, she just her timing of saying things is just like hilarious. What did you say today? I can't remember. She's like a walkie-talking. Yeah. I think, but I think when you just have a really great outlook in life, you just always want to just see the funny side of things, and you've always saying.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And that goes for Shabana as well.
No, she makes a lot of jokes, so which is good. Yeah.
We heard that a lot of people are funny, but we're not. Who's actually telling the gags? Where are the gags coming from?
I do at the end. I do tell a lot of jokes, but with Shabs at the end, I do it all the time, and she gets upset, and then I have to apologise to her and calm her down.
So sometimes you can be a little bit close to the bone.
Actually, because these two are she's sisters, and they said, what was the brothers called?
The Chunky Brothers.
The Chunky Brothers. You know, like they take the mickey out of each other. Right. So that's what I find. They're always taking the mickey out of each other, and I find it not funny on expense. Yeah. But I just think it's just hilarious. Okay, and they get back at each other, and it's hilarious.
We've got a new face at the table. Right now, we're talking about comedy. Should the story of Aberfeldy be a comedy? Is it a comedy? And are there some funny bits? Is that the best way to tell a story? We've got potentially the new... I mean, is there going to be a name for your comedy trio?
We'll just make it up right now.
What's it?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Think about it. Something to think about. But is there a name for this person here?
Oh, we have got a name.
Yeah, I've got a name. My name's Ian. Sorry.
Okay, give it a round of applause.
Good night. Yeah, it should be a dark comedy. There's humour is, if you're talking about the whole story, you're talking about the war and all that sort of thing. So, but I think that could be reflected in dark humour, if that's a PC word.
Okay, where do we go to get our dark humour?
We go across the street like a chicken.
Back to the chicken sound effect. Okay, was a point from Helena.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say that I was looking at Aberfeldy's story this afternoon, like the story of the street and of the place, and it's actually a place of surprising resilience and of also, because like it was bombed very, very badly during the war, and then it sort of like it came out again, and then in 20, there was this big mural project that was inspired by a Bangladeshi tradition. So I just think that, like, yeah, that out of great comedy also comes great resilience.
Okay, so is comedy a sort of resilience strategy? I'm going to come to you in a second, Ian, but we've got a couple of new faces. Let's just get these names. What's your name?
Amran.
Amran and
Akbal.
Akbal. Let's give them a round of applause. Get the buses, yes. Okay, so the moment we're talking about this street, we're talking about comedy vehicles for this street. We've got some very funny people around, but should it be a dark comedy? What kind of humour is good? And there's drinks and snacks for people as well. If anyone feels like they need a drinks and snack, just grab it. Ian, you was going to say something.
I was just going to say that I missed last night, but I've actually brought my poem in today.
You brought a poem in?
Yeah, so at some point, 10 minutes. No, I've got to get up on my computer, so...
Okay, all right. Okay, so... Okay, if Andrew, if you are going to go, if you're coming back, that's fine, but if you are going to go, we want... This is the same for everybody. We want a final thought from you. But you're not going to go. You're just coming to get a snack, aren't you? Or what are you doing?
I'm going to be meeting a friend.
Okay. Okay, well, just give us an intermediate final thought for now, and then you can give us another final thought later if you come back. Yeah.
Well, I'll see if my friend wants to come, but I really was transfixed by the colours when I drove through here before. Yeah. So I want to explore the street more.
As colourful as this, why is it so?
Well, the whole country is, or the fashion for the world has all gone a bit grey. Like you know, cars aren't colourful like they were when I was a kid. Yeah. They're all like white, grey, black. It's all monochrome. Yeah. So everything's a bit beige and grey at the moment, colour-wise.
So if you film the cars in black and white, they look exactly the same as they do in colour.
Even like the McDonald's uniforms. McDonald's used to be like really bright colours, didn't they? Now they're all a bit sombre. So when you see this pop of colour on this street, you're like, oh, what's going on here?
I mean, have we sort of like, has our colour palette actually kind of receded a little bit in life? We've gone a bit less colourful. That's a great final thought. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, round of applause for Andrew.
You know, in Scotland, they've got Balamory. If you see the children's, like, you see like the blue, yellow and pink houses.
We should be spreading this kind of colour further through Poplar and through...
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
In Prague, all the houses in the sort of just outside the center itself are covered in pastel colors. Different buildings have different pastel colors. Complete.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Is it something we can adopt here? Or is it something we'd have to check?
You'd have to fight with all the glass and steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, can you make glass and steel colourful? What do people think?
I have a short story. Something happened to me. I used to go to work to the NHS, social services, and all that stuff, dressed normally, just jeans, maybe a red T-shirt or whatever, until I got a message from an agency that says you have to look professional. Yeah. So no jeans, no colorful things, just black trousers and a white shirt.
So is colourful unprofessional?
According to some people, yes.
McDonald's have toned down their colour.
No. According to some people, you have to play this very traditional role and dress in a certain way. So they are limiting your choices in terms of being colorful.
That's interesting. So professional equals...
It was Margot who said, I didn't recognize you because you don't have a suit. Yeah. So at the beginning I had a suit, then I changed the suit for jeans and T-shirts, and then they told me off. I said, no, you have to go back to the suit.
Okay, so are we... Yeah, go on.
I reckon the colourful vibes, you know, it brings out your personality as well, because I think when you come into this area, you look forward to coming. So I think the colour reflects your, outlook on life, if you get what I mean. So colour is very important.
Okay, so it's not just an add-on, it's actually part of your day, part of your thing? I mean, was it colourful back in the day, back in the 1970s?
Not like it is now. It worried me when they started putting the colour on the place, actually, because normally when something gets painted as colourful as this, the council are just about to knock it down.
It's kind of like marked for demolition.
Yes, but it was colourful, but in a different way because the people were colourful.
Right, okay.
You know, we used to have an Aberfeldy festival.
Yeah.
And you'd have street parties where people would dress up.
Yeah.
And it was a big type of community, so it was colourful, but not...
It was more colourful, eventful, colourful.
And the people were more colourful in their personalities than you see today.
Okay, so colourful personalities, maybe not as colourful buildings, but do we need to colour in people's personalities a little bit here on Aberfeldy Street? Do they need that colour coming back? We've got a new face. Tell us your name.
Hello, Fulia.
Give Fulia a round of applause. At the moment we're talking about Aberfeldy Street, we're talking about the stories from like 50 years back. It was less colourful, but the people were colourful. I'm quite interested in this idea of the Aberfeldy Festival. Maybe it's going to be a little bit of that going on. Yeah, I mean, what do people think? Colourful people or colourful buildings? Is there? Yeah, go on.
I want to know. I would love to know what makes someone have a colourful personality. Is it their...
Colourful personality?
I think so. People often say I'm quite exuberant.
Well, what is it about your personality that's colourful?
I think I really love playful, silly ideas, and I like to laugh. So yeah, and I feel like that goes with colour. Yeah.
So back in a way to the comedy is a kind of laughing, playfulness and exuberance, as you said. But what's your question now? I've forgotten the question. What's it?
What makes someone a colourful personality?
Okay, yeah. What makes someone a colourful personality? Yeah.
I think music goes also with the colourfulness. I'm a musician myself.
What kind of a musician are you?
Regarding our offer, I was born and brought up in Bangladesh, but I've been living all my life in Scandinavia.
Right, okay.
So I do Rabindra Sangeet. I don't know if someone knows Rabindra Sangeet. Rabindranath Tagore is from India, basically, and he was the first Nobel Prize winner on Bangla literature.
Right.
So his subject of Rabindra Sangeet is a worldwide music industry, I would rather say.
So it's one person that started the whole musical genre?
Yeah.
Okay,
and he has
Rabindra?
Yeah. He has his university in Calcutta. The institute only for music, art and dance, together with the music. I have a diploma back from Bangladesh on Rabindra Sangeet. So anyone, I do music, anyone interested, we could do something creative.
Do you sing?
Yes, I do.
I think we need to do that. Can you do a singing?
Okay, but I just want to say there's two rules on Talkaoke. No fighting, no singing. No fighting, no singing. I have to do that. But there will be a chance because we're doing some more musical stuff. So there will be a chance to actually have some singing. We've got a new face over here. Tell us your name.
I'm James Blake, not the singer or tennis player. James Blake from Bow.
Welcome. We're just hearing some stories. I mean, talking about colourful, is now the time for the poem?
If you want.
We've got Ian over here that was going to do a poem, but it's the time. If it's the right time for you, because you may or may not. I don't know if you're from this area, but this is a very colourful street. But we're also talking about the colourful personalities that inhabit this street and what makes somebody a colourful personality. And that's what we've got, a colourful personality in the shape of Ian that's gonna do a poem. Yeah.
Okay, this poem is from my last book of poetry called Out of My Arse, because that's usually where it comes from. Okay, I'll start. I've not practiced it. I've just wrote it in 10 minutes. Right. Here we go. Right. Old generation, new generation, my generation, regeneration. Scottish roots in London fields, shaggy beasts of spirit from the brave, river of worldly delights, sailing ships from distant shores, small terraced homes built on sail, high-rise blocks built for sale. The drone of planes as skies darken, the dread dark pierced by lights, docks blasted and lives shattered, blood and cordite mixed, tradition prevails. Decaying shops, painted harlots, towering buildings or tower hamlets, the people speak in small rooms, decisions are made in bigger rooms. Community, diversity born of pain, organic alliance, homemade spirit diluted by investors' greed, polluted earth can produce new shoots, future, hope and solidarity.
Wow. Sorry, you just missed the poem, but there, I mean, at the moment we're talking about the colourful people of Aberfeldy, of which Ian is one, but I never knew you were a poet. I didn't know it.
Oh dear. I hope I don't blow it.
Yeah, I don't think you will blow it. Anyway, I feel like this side has been a bit quiet, not Carl, but Akbal, Amrin, Chris, Justbal, you've not said anything. I mean, Christopher's got an excuse because you're attempting to visualise this as you go along, but, yeah, well, there's someone else from this side. Yeah.
I just want to appreciate the poem. I just really enjoy poetry because it can be so creative and witty and all of those things. So I want to hear more poetry, just personally. But secondly, I've got beers. Would anybody like a beer? So more to the point, beers or non-alcoholic beers as well?
Non-alcoholic. I like a non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic beer for you. Anyone else? Non-alcoholic, not alcoholic. Two non. Two A, two non-alcoholic. Alcoholic, okay. Any more?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we've got the beers open. We've got a new face over here. Tell us your name.
Hello, I'm Jay.
Jay, welcome. I'm just going to do a quick round of names. We have got John. We have got Ian. We have got Eggers. We have got Sam. We have got Shabs. We have got Roxy. We have got Sam. We have got James and Joe in the back. We've got Justbal. We've got Chris. We've got Christopher. We've got Amrin. We've got Akbal. We've got Carl. We have got Claire. We have got Fulia. And we've got me, Mikey. And that's it so far. But, yes, it's not that important. What we're talking about really is the colourful personalities, of which we've got a lot here. But it's interesting, I think one of the things you said, obviously I'm going to hone on this, you said the people speak in small rooms, decisions are made in bigger rooms. What's that about?
Well, it's just that a lot of the ideas here are really good and from the people that live around here, but it seems to me that decisions on those ideas, to go one way or another, are made in bigger rooms, usually government or council rooms.
So maybe people could be listened to a bit more. Do people feel like they're getting listened to? And is it the same thing as, you know, the colourfulness of this? Is it the same thing as the kind of political decisions that get made? Did you feel like... Do you want to say something?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Comment.
Thank you.
Were you going to comment on something else?
I was just going to say that one of the things that makes this area so colourful is there are so many talented people who live in Aberfeldy who don't realise they've got a talent. And if only we could get the people to realise that everybody's got a talent, but they may not realise it. But that is what makes Aberfeldy such a great place to live, because you can tap into so much, and people will really. It is just a great place to live. As you know, I've just had to move house, and one of the reasons I'm living where I am is because I refused after 50 years to move out of the area, because this is where my roots have now become.
That's a very strong point, John, as well. That are we developing the talent in this area enough, and what kind of talents we want to develop the Three Musketeers comedy talents, whatever it's going to be called, working title. What other talents have we got around? We've got the music. Have we got any other talents around this table? We've got the poet, yes. The poet goes without saying. What's that?
I said, please do forget the poet.
We cannot forget the poet. Any other talents around this table that we can incorporate? Yes?
We can bring it together. I mean, you know, we've got the Aberfeldy and the weather's really good, like the music, the people who can make people laugh, comedy, for example, poetry, art. Bring it all together and show the community and show the council that there are a lot of things to offer.
Yes.
Because I've heard that they're going to knock this place down, but that's going to rip the heart of the whole community.
Okay.
So there's a lot that's going to go to waste if you look at it.
Okay, so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, it's really great that you were saying this about a showcase, because ideally in September we'll have this big showcase demonstrating all of the talents around this table and more.
Okay. What's that?
It's actually happening in September.
Is it actually happening in September? Anyone want to comment? Do you want to say something? What is happening?
So in September, so basically, at the moment, we're just scouting for some ideas and suggestions, and if you want to make something work, we'll just help you make it work, and we'll get involved too. And definitely in September there's going to be something happening. Whether it's going to be in the church, the St. Nicholas's Church, because there's actually connection to Maiden, Iron Maiden band, the band. Has anybody heard of them? No, because recently I asked a young person and they had no idea, so everybody looks quite young, so I just thought check. Yeah, but apparently the very first gig they played, thank you, John, the very first gig they played was to a bunch of nuns in St. Nicholas's Church 50 years ago next year. So we want to create a piece of music as well, which we're going to premiere in September along with other things. So I don't know, does it have to, like, do you want to make a... John, you going to do the screaming, or what are you going to do?
I sing all types of Bangla songs, and Indian as well.
Have you ever done any heavy metal?
I try to remix it with the subcontinental and European. I try it. I'm not a professional, but I got a musical diploma back many years ago.
And when you turned a professional musician, did you have to tone down your colour palette of what you wore? Or as a musician, you don't have to be less colourful?
Always, we have to be colourful.
Okay.
Always. I mean, color comes from your heart. The person itself colored inside, then you can spread it all over the world.
Okay. All right.
You know, when you have the color, you have the jokes, you have the kindness, knowledge, sympathy, empathy, music, dance, all these things, even etc. All these things makes together the world colorful.
Okay.
And Aberfeldy colorful.
So
Thank you.
Actually, people do have the colour within. We just need to get the colour out.
If you are going to attempt heavy metal, you've got to take the hair out of the ponytail and really get your hair a good shake in. You've got the hair for it.
Okay. Oh, you want to see some hair flying around? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cole, you have a point?
There's one thing, one reflection I want to make. We are in the era of Alexa, of AI. How monotonous, how mechanical. And I work as a journalist since the age of 17 for more than 40 years. And we were always talking to people, not with people, talking to people. And I guess society nowadays is ever more lonely because we are just being talked to. And when you go at night, walk at night, and you see a window open, everybody's sitting down in front of a television screen. Nobody's talking to anybody, they're just watching something. And when Margot mentioned the idea of coming here, I said, well, we are not going to talk to you, we are going to talk with you. And I think we need to talk with each other. And that's how life becomes colorful and interesting.
Okay. Speaking of colourful, we've got a new face over here. Can you tell us your name? New face?
Elam.
Elam, welcome. We're talking about the colourful people and personalities of this area, and we've heard a few, like... We've heard a little bit about what would actually enhance the talent of this area. What would actually get the talent out there? The colourfulness, which Sam says there's colour in everybody's heart. We just need a way to get it out there. So that's what we're talking about at the moment. John said there's a lot of talent in this area, but is there a platform for this talent? So that's where we are right now. We're trying to just work out a little bit about what those platforms could be, what those talents could be, how to actually get out there. We've heard about a festival. Back in the day, there was an Aberfeldy festival. Yeah. You want just power?
I'm just suggesting these four people would like to say something. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, it's not mandatory, but you're being strongly encouraged on this side to have a comment.
Clearly.
It's not mandatory though.
On the clothes side, it's interesting. You see the old footage of, like, say, Bill Shankly celebrating the FA Cup win in the 60s or 70s, and he's wearing a bright orange shirt and a bright green kipper tie.
Right.
And as someone was saying before, all those colours seem to have disappeared. Wait, apart from your good self. I mean, looking around this table, where a lot of us are, quite muted in the colours. I was going to throw that question out to people because I don't have the answer.
I mean, we heard from Carl a little bit that when he tried to be colourful, he got asked to tone down because it wasn't professional to be colourful. Is that one of the reasons? Oh, you've got something? Let's give It's a very shy man, but
incredibly shy.
Yeah.
I think one of the things with regards to wearing a suit and feeling that that's quite plain, boring. When in the past it was always added on to with a tie, a bright tie, bright socks, bright, handkerchief, something to create that individual appearance. And you don't see that. You do see it sometimes, but not as often as you used to. People don't wear ties.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a big box of ties. Hardly ever wear them.
Are you a professional?
Yeah, kind of. But I don't really wear. I used to wear a suit every day to work. And then now I just wear scrubs.
Okay.
It's a bit boring.
Yeah.
But I wear blue scrubs.
They're colourful.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you wear them on the way to work or?
No, I wear this on the way to work.
All right. So I don't know if we're getting to the answer here, but what happened? We've got Bill Shankly. I mean, some people may not know who Bill Shankly is. Who's Bill Shankly?
He was a Liverpool manager, a very successful Liverpool manager.
Okay. In what era?
I think it was the 60s and 70s.
Right, okay. So the Liverpool manager of the 1970s was wearing, what was it, a green tie?
So he was wearing a suit. So it was the FA Cup, where it was traditional for the managers to wear a suit. It wasn't, like tracksuits that it is now. But at the same time, that suit wasn't bland. I mean, it was kind of, the suit itself was brown, but the shirt was bright orange, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And the tie, one would say now, absolutely clashed with the shirt, but that was fine because that was part of the fashion then. It was brave. It was individual. It was
the other team, maybe?
Quite possibly. It was quite blinding, and it was a sunny day. It's possible.
So we're talking about where's all the colour gone? Where's all the colour gone? Yes.
I want to ask Akbal if he's got one of those like sexy doctors kind of thing going on at work. No, because you know how people like a sexy kind of what's your profession? The podiatrist. Yeah, scrubs like kind of slightly open and kind of no, okay. Yeah, I was just curious, asking for a friend. But what I wanted to say is I think maybe we're just getting a bit homogenous with our opinions. Nobody wants to kind of stick their neck out because if you draw too much attention to yourself, then suddenly that's bad because then people pick on you and stuff like that. Okay. So maybe that's why this suit, which sounds.
Okay, so it's actually about not standing out. Standing out.
I disagree entirely. I wear a suit, and you'll always see me in a suit because it's got pockets, and I need pockets when I'm sitting in my wheelchair. I can't cope without somewhere to put them. But normally, I'm actually not very colourful today because it's so warm. Normally, you'd see me in a jumper and you could see coming down the street.
Yes.
And I do it deliberately because when I was at school, we had 2 school uniform colours. Grey, which I cannot stand, and maroon, which when I got hot used to make all my white shirts pink.
Right, okay, so you're still rebelling from school and trying to be as colourful as possible.
When you're disabled, you've got to be something different.
Yeah.
So people don't see me because I'm in a wheelchair below their eye line. So I make myself as colourful as I feel inside.
Okay.
And I don't care what anybody else
So
says.
you're agreeing with Sam that everyone has got this colour that needs to come out?
We should encourage people to let it out.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if their view of the world is different. We were having a conversation before we started this about disabilities that can be seen and unseen. And one of the people I feel most is difficult for are people particularly with what is called the autistic spectrum, because they see the world differently.
Right. Yeah.
They see it in the right way to them, but they see it differently to that. So, and there's so much talent in that, and this ability to see things differently gives you a chance to broaden the world.
So it gives you a new perspective.
Yes, and that is colourful in itself,
Okay.
which is where it links up to what you were saying.
Yeah, I just want to ask if people think that the way they dress actually projects who they are. Do they feel that they're making some kind of statement? I wear a cravat for work, and I work on a building site.
Right.
And I actually bought a dinner jacket with the velvet lapels, and I used to wear that for work as well because I liked it.
Yeah.
When I wear my cravat, they tell me that it's Paul Weller meets what's his name out of Syndrome? Rigby. Rigsby. Yeah, so it's like Paul Weller meets Rigsby because I've got that kind of old man kind of cardigan. But, you know, I'm a struggling middle-class actor who doesn't want to struggle sort of look.
Okay. All right, so we've definitely got some colourful people, but I think as well from that, it's clear that sometimes you've got to make that leap, you've got to make that jump. You've actually got to, you know, make an effort to stand out, to bring colour to the world. It's not, you are standing out a little bit. Was there a point on this side? Yeah.
I'd like to see the cravat with the cardi.
Yeah, you want to see that?
Yeah, next time.
Yeah.
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 Make sure you wear it.
What are you going to bring to the table?
What am I going to bring to the table?
Yeah, if you want to see Ian's cravat.
Bring my scrubs.
Is that a deal?
That's a deal.
Okay. All right, so when is the next Talkaoke?
End of May, we don't know. We don't know. Keep your diaries open for...
Sometime in May, sometime towards the end of last Thursday of May, probably, isn't it?
Yeah. Wednesday.
We're doing it on a Wednesday.
I don't know. Anyway, we don't know. No, but wanted to say sometimes it's like how people have seen you for a long time. I had a conversation with somebody recently, and she said when she moved out of the country that she's from, suddenly she moved to a completely new place, the UK, and she could really be herself and explore things that she hasn't explored before. Because once your family knows you as that person in the family, like I'm the youngest in the family, so I'm never serious. I'm always a clown, and it started bothering me, so I had to kind of get away from it a bit. Now I can laugh about it because I've kind of, you know, gone over it. But I think essentially it's nice to kind of shape how you come across to the world rather than people telling you, oh, you like this, so you must be like that then, you know, or you wear this, or you've got this disability, or you've got this accent, so you must be like that. So.
Okay, there was a point from Ella.
What's a cravat? Oh, sorry. What's a cravat?
What is a cravat?
It's a French word for tie, but it's a wider one. Go on.
It's a really brave choice.
On the construction site.
Okay, especially on a construction site.
A cross between a tie and a scarf, isn't it, in a weird kind of a way?
Would Bill Shankly wear a cravat?
Probably in kind of shocking pink, I would have thought, given the age that he lived in. Is there a question around what's available? I mean, I don't really shop, so I don't know, but is it partly because of what's available in shops? Are there colours not in the shops, or I don't know? I mean,
The colours are...
People are just not, or people I know aren't.
Why don't you go down to Old Street, was it Bank, and you'll see, was it T.M. Lewin and Charles Lewin? They've got lots of lovely shirts and cravats and all sorts of different, all different colours. So maybe we might see you in a different colour next time.
Okay, well, hang on a sec, because I feel like we've got a little bit of a challenge developing, because we've got Ian in the cravat, we've got Akbar's coming in the scrubs next time, so maybe we could grow that and get different people coming in different outfits next time. You lot need to work on your comedy trio outfit as well. What is that going to look like? Is it going to be all black?
No, boring colour, no.
I mean, so you've got to think about that for sure.
To calls me Mr. Tumble, if anybody knows Mr. Tumble, and I say I'm actually offended because I don't wear those dungarees, that colour of dungarees. So, but my personality is as colourful as Mr. Tumble.
Okay.
So that's
so we've got a bit of a challenge.
You know who Mr. Tumble is.
I've no idea. I know what cravat is, but I've never heard of Mr. Tumble.
Oh my goodness! So he's a. Does anybody know here? I'll give it. Does it? Oh, go on, don't. Come on in, Blake. James. This person. Mr. Tumble.
I can't believe I'm talking about this guy. He's on CBeebies. You don't know what CBeebies is? It's the BBC's children's program. So I've got 2 kids, and he's very annoying. Do you find him annoying? Yeah. Yeah, he's a character. Going back to the whole idea of being colourful characters, and one of the things I'm thinking about is how do you recognise a colour as well? So what I mean by that, for example, what colour is this? Quickly. You see, we say different things, don't we? And so I think sometimes how we see a personality type, for example, who's say artistic or something like that, for some person it might be that they're really loud, they're really crazy. Others are like, I can connect with you. So the same thing of recognising colour. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So all this talk about color makes me think of this really cool coat that I had that is like super colorful. And so basically, when I used to wear it back in France, everybody would be like, oh, that's a colorful coat. And here in the UK, everybody loves it. So yeah.
Are we more ready for colour in the UK than France?
Well, in my humble opinion, I sort of do think so, because like in the UK, and there's many things to be criticized about the country, of course, but like there's also like lots of very, in my opinion, there's much more accepting people. That's my take on it. I sort of do think so, because in France people are very, very, very judgmental.
I mean, what would they think of Mr. Tumble?
France.
What would they think of Mr. Tumble, for example? Would they accept Mr. Tumble?
Probably not. They'd be like, ooh, that's a colourful outfit.
Yeah, sort of look down the nose at Mr. Tumble. Yeah, go on.
No, but I think France has got this like really crazy cartoon, the Téléchat, which is completely bonkers. This is like puppets, and they just talk about the most like strange, surreal things.
But if you saw...
No, it's like a puppet. It's puppets, so maybe it's not a cartoon.
But if you saw those puppets on the street, you know, obviously you don't see puppets.
But there's somebody who's not here tonight, but maybe she'll come. But she's got a puppet orangutan, so it's already happening, guys.
Okay. I mean, that is colourful to walk around with a puppet orangutan for sure.
I was a goth when I was a teenager, and a lot of my friends take the mickey out of me, so I went through a period of time where I was trying to wear more colourful clothes.
Were you trying to de-goth?
Yeah, but I only got as far as like dark green or... and recently I've just been thinking, fuck it, I'm just going to embrace the goth that's inside.
I mean, when we're all talking about... we'll give you a round of applause, but I think we need to dwell on this a bit more. Does it scare you when you see someone like that and you're being forced to wear something like this?
Yeah, that scares me, I would say so.
I mean, this whole colour conversation, do you feel like, you know, the colour's not really for me, or like, as if it is, it's a dark maroon or a dark green or a viridian or something like that?
I don't know, maybe I trained myself.
Yeah.
And I like dark clothes. Most of my clothes are black, which makes them difficult to find.
Black is also a colour. That's what I was going to ask. When we say colourful, why are we thinking about all the bright colours like that?
Like Mr. Tumble?
Yeah, like that
What
guy.
is a good colour for you then, if it's not a bright colour?
Yeah, why not? Well,
Yeah.
black is also a nice color, and
Yeah.
navy and dark greens, dark blues. So they're all colors in the end.
Yeah.
So, but somehow, actually, the meaning of the word "colorful" is full of colors. So,
Yeah, so
but
you need to have everything then.
yeah. So, but when we think of colorful, so we are just thinking about bright colors only. So that's a different, interesting thinking that maybe it's a kind of thinking that were implemented.
All right, I'm gonna just hang on to the mic there for a second.
Yeah.
If we were all, what I feel like is the next Talkaoke, which is probably on the last Thursday or Wednesday of May, we're not sure yet, or maybe it's not because we've got booking. But anyway, whenever it is, Akbal's wearing his scrubs, Ian's wearing his cravat, Just Bel's wearing some kind of Ian Paisley thing. What are you gonna wear?
I don't know,
If
maybe.
you were going to sort of dress up a little bit or show that confidence, even if it's not Mr. Tumble, you know, it could even be like Claire, like just a full black
Yeah.
outfit with.
I would probably put on something that will reflect my mood, because colors are directly related with the mood and everything. I also love your t-shirt, this shirt, by the way. That's a lovely color. So I'll probably put on something like that, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I have no idea what it is at the moment, but we will see on the day.
Okay, so it actually depends on the day.
Yeah.
Depends on the day and the mood. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to take up our colleague over there when he mentioned Bill Shankly.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what do you think of the latest but one England manager, Gareth Southgate, and the way he dressed? In fact, that was colourful, but it wasn't colourful in the terms of...
So it was something outgoing, but not necessarily...
Yeah, but you knew who he was as soon as you saw him.
You could spot him from like 100 metres away.
Yes, and if you listen to the players, they were able to relate to that, which meant that he was able to get more out of them.
Okay.
So, colour comes in many guises.
And I think there's an interesting point there, which is maybe only interesting to a subsection of this audience, that maybe being a football manager or a coach, you have to sort of stand out and take the kind of, you know, be that person that actually has got that personality and shows it, demonstrates it.
Yeah, back in the bad old days of the 70s and possibly a little bit later, the flamboyance, the way somebody dressed, was automatically pinned to their sexuality.
Right.
So any flamboyance in a man's suit of clothing was put down to the fact that it may be gay,
Right.
or maybe effeminate in some ways. The homosexuals at that time were always depicted as this very effeminate person and not just people, basically. And the mod thing was based on the style of homosexuals during the 60s, to the point of wearing makeup as well, because they were on speed, they'd be guys, and they put eyeliner on it to accentuate their eyes. Now, yeah, I mean, I've won my share of Paisley and all that kind of stuff, so, yeah, it's...
The colour, or the pattern, or the manager?
Yeah, I had never won Ian Paisley.
Right.
But yeah, what was I trying to... Yeah, so... Yeah, it was a stereotypical thing.
And so people read certain things about...
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. Yeah.
What are they made of a shirt like this?
Probably a window cloth or something.
That's definitely...
No, I was just going to say, do you want to say something? Because you had your hand up. No, I was going to say, because I do actually have quite a bubbly character. And so I think I tone my dress sense down, because if I did literally dress up like Mr. Tumble and I behaved like Mr. Tumble, then that would be really shocking for lots of people. So I dressed as normal as possible, that the average person will think, she's okay, but actually I'm actually bonkers, really.
So it's almost like the suit jacket that's like dark on the outside, but it's got like a sort of iridescent pattern on the inside.
Absolutely. I think people actually don't expect me to have this personality when they start talking to me. They think, you definitely look
What
like...
kind of personality do they expect?
Well, first of all, I know so they think, oh, you speak English, first of all. And you can, I know that it sounds a bit bad. They go, oh, you speak English, and you can string a sentence together. Oh, and I understand some of the jokes that they're coming up with, because they have some nuances and things. And some people do try, you know, come up with some slang slogans or whatever, and I reply back, and they go, oh, Mike, can you actually understand what I'm saying? That's really funny. Yeah. I find that entertaining, actually, watching other people's response, and to me, that's hilarious. But people do expect me to just not speak English, go home and just cook a curry. That's what people say to me. That's what you think. Because I also work with the police, and they say, you don't look like the average Asian woman, but you do. So you can be incognito, which is probably what I do. No. I work with the police. I'm
we met.
on Crime Watch. But yeah, no, that's not, don't take that seriously. Yeah, no, my parole officer won't let me out again. But anyway, so, but yeah, no, so I just tone it down just so that I don't scare people, because if I was too bright and loud, I think my personality is already loud enough as it is.
It's almost like a sensitivity that you don't want to overload people.
I don't want people, I mean, sometimes people cross the road anyway when I'm walking down the road, so I don't want to wear the clothing, and they're definitely going, I'm going the opposite way to her.
Okay. All right, I'm going to come to you in a second. Let's have a round of applause for Sam. I'm going to come to you in a second, Ellen, but we've got Akbar's been waiting patiently. Are you off, Sam? If so, we want a final thought from you.
No, I'm not leaving.
Oh, okay, you're just going for a cigarette? Okay, right, okay. Akbar.
So I wonder whether wearing clothes rather than reflecting your mood can create a mood.
Yeah.
And wearing, because you do see, you know, you can walk along in the city or in a town, and you'll see lots of people dressed in grey and black and blue, and then there'll be one person in green. And it does give you a lift, I think. Everybody, not the person wearing it necessarily, but everybody.
So
and I think
it's a little bit of colour actually on a person.
Yeah, and I also feel that maybe if you choose to wear that bright green or that bright red dress or the suit or the, you know, whatever it is, that you will get that smile. And that can lift your mood as well.
So actually, one thing feeds another that feeds another.
So you don't have to be upbeat to wear a bright clothes, but wearing the bright clothes can maybe lift your mood as well.
By making other people smile, which makes you smile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry?
Podiatrist. Podiatrist. What's a podiatrist?
Oh,
Someone
you don't need to know.
Okay, Carl, I'm going to come to you. Mark, I'm going to come to you. But Ellen,
if you've got feet, you need one.
Sorry, what's your name? I didn't get your name, actually. It's Sam. Yeah, no, I agree with what Akbar was saying, that I think if you were to dress in a more colourful way, it probably would attract a lot of good, positive attention. Because it's true, whenever I wear bright colours in the city, you get so many compliments, and I always compliment people as well. So it's a good thing, you know. But
okay, you've got a little bit of blue on.
A little bit of blue.
Wearing sort of like a bright orange or something. Why did you kind of tone it down for this event?
You know what? I wouldn't say I toned it down. It was more for the weather. I thought, what can I wear that's gonna like sustain me through, keep me comfortable throughout the day? And I thought the jeans jacket. It was more comfort rather than color for me.
Do you sometimes wear bright?
I do, yeah. I like wearing bright colors. I love it. It's good, you know, and I love when other people do. I wouldn't say people don't wear bright colors in London, though. I think it's true what you were saying about, you know, French people being more reserved and people being very open in London. You know, I remember when I came back from somewhere recently, and when I was walking around, I was like, wow, London, people have interesting hairstyles. People are very out there with how they dress compared to the city I was coming from, so.
Which country was that in?
Oh, you know what? It was Spain. Yeah. I noticed the country.
We think of as quite colourful, but maybe London has got it. We've got a new face over here. Tell us your name.
That's a big question.
Well, it only gets tougher from here after that. We have got Margot. We have We have got Carl, we've got Claire, we have got Fulia, Joe, and I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Juliet.
Yay! And at the moment we're sort of talking about, well, in a way, I think there's a colourful street here, but there's actually colourful people. But I think there's a very important point from John, which is like, how do we actually get that talent? I mean, we've talked a lot about colour and personality, but maybe we haven't talked about talent, which maybe we could go on to, I don't know. But how do we actually get that out there? Why are people toning down when they're colourful inside? These are some of the questions we're talking about at the moment.
I think it's because if you don't see many people who are up for kind of a play, you know, then for playing around or experimenting, or like if you don't have your trio of friends, it's a bit hard to make it on your own. And I think the world out there is a bit like, oh, you can be an Instagram personality or whatever. You just got to like put your personality out there. But I agree with you. Like you know, it's about conversation. It's about kind of doing something together, and conversation is one part of it. But having your gang of people where you just kind of, you know, you treat it a little less seriously. Yeah, it's important. You know, when we kind of have a working day, Mikey, in the studio, I mean, yeah, we actually do work, it's true, we do work sometimes. But we have a lot of fun, including the fact that we now kind of often wear matching clothes without planning. Not tonight. But, you know, but just like little things. So I think having a group of people that you can be experimental with, it's
group just to support each other.
I think so. I don't know what you think, Carl, but yeah.
Go out being colourful.
Yeah.
Or, you know, with your look being you when you've got other friends that are... and we didn't actually get your name over here, hiding in the corner. So pass that mic across, Joe. Come.
Yeah, I'm Kathy.
That's it.
And the conversation on the colours, it's like I've got no dress sense, number one, and for me it's always coincidence if I'm dressed in colours that go.
Is it like a broken clock is always right twice?
Never heard that before, but it's like I always look on the colours within. I can't sort of.
So were you feeling a kind of red colour today, a sort of crimson?
Not at all.
You weren't?
No.
So
I'm feeling all colours, like all the colours of the rainbow, and yeah.
And what, we didn't get your name either. And also, feel like you can throw something in as well.
So here to hear my voice from the microphone. My name is Mohammed, but everybody can call me Mo. Thank you. And sorry about the late. I was waiting for my limousine, and I came just now. But nah, just white. You know, yeah. So it's just classic. In my case, about the color, I was hearing the topic before. I love to wear black, just because sometimes I don't spot my warts underneath, you know, my arms, and I dress what I have on my room. But yeah, I think it reflects the personality of a person. That's, for me, is very true. But it's also weird that probably the most open person, the most funny person I met were like the goth ones. So like those one with the Metallica t-shirt were like very easy to talk. So yeah, it's something that has always been always shocking me in my life. And yeah, nice to talk.
Okay, well,
Thank you.
We've got another new face. Just tell us, I'm not going to do the whole round of names because you just missed it.
My name is Simon.
Simon, welcome, Simon.
Thank you very much.
Simon says. Here we go.
Yeah. There was some mention made of the similarity of this table to Simon Says. Is that anything to do with you? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so where are we going to go with this? Yeah, go on.
I'm about to leave.
Yeah.
So my last thought of the day is an inability to communicate, one of my headmasters said, does not necessarily provide for a lack of ability. And when we dress and use colour, even if you can't speak, you're communicating. So please, let's have plenty of it.
Okay.
This, let's put it this way. You speak a language. That's what you hear when you talk to each other. But we speak different other languages at the same time. So in everything we do, there's codification. We use codes. The way you do the gestures, the tone of your voice, the intonation, the way you dress. We are constantly sending messages away.
Yeah, so we're communicating not just with our language, but with...
Paralinguistics, the physical appearance, all is communication.
Okay, so, yeah, go on, Sam.
Thank you so much for saying that. I am sorry, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but just a little bit of my experience. I've been living in Scandinavia, I won't say where, in Scandinavia for a long time. Yeah. And the diversity here in the UK, especially in London, what you said, we all have different culture, different languages, we practice different types of whatever we are in. Still, we respect each other, we accept each other, we do the best to help each other. That's the most important thing, and kind to each other, which I haven't experienced so much there back in Scandinavia. Like, nobody's going to tell you, oh, you don't belong here. And that's something that makes you feel, this is my home.
Yeah.
And we all love each other.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to say, it's something that I really appreciate about this area, but are we making enough of it? The fact that we have got this beautiful diversity. Ellen, were you going to say something?
Yeah, you know, I just find that, like, especially in recent years, people have said that London, UK is awful, it's terrible, it's so bad, but there must be something that keeps people here. So I didn't get your name, Sam. You know, so it's nice to hear what Sam's saying about, you know, how accepting the UK is of different people. And when you look at history, it's always been that way, even with music. Obviously, you know, yeah, there's a spectrum to this, but, you know, the UK is very accepting of difference, which I think is good. You know what? I just look back in the day. You know, like there's so many artists from around the world who didn't do very well, like in the US, for example, but in the UK, that's where they found their success. So I find that very interesting. How yeah.
Okay, so this diversity. I'll ask the question again: are we making enough use of that, or celebrating it enough? Or I'm going to come to you in a second, Ian.
I'm not too sure what the topic is about, but I picked up you were talking about colors.
Yeah.
And I just want to quickly share this quick image with people.
Yeah.
Now, the creator of this wants us to enjoy what? Color. And you see, so we can imitate his creation and enjoy very much what he also enjoyed. So, I rest my case.
Okay. Some very colourful birds there.
Yeah, but it's not just birds.
Yes.
I don't know if you've been around the world. Flowers upon flowers, little, large, small, different design that takes your breath away. You could spend a whole day without getting tired.
Yeah.
So I love looking to nature, what God has provided, and I like to imitate it. Yeah. So my clothing, my everything, I treasure color.
Okay, that's lovely. Beautiful.
Yeah, I just want to make an honourable mention for subcultures. Right. I think if you look at things like the hippie thing, or the mod thing, or the the skinhead thing, there's a saying that belts and braces don't make racists, but I feel that people would probably be a little bit intimidated if there was 5 or 6 skinheads sitting around this table, but it's not necessary. Sure. So, but yeah, a lot of the... Yeah, and so as subcultures come and go, then their passions. I mean, if you see people, women in the streets now wearing fishnet tights or stockings or whatever, and before the punk thing, that would have been sending totally the wrong message, you know. So going back to codes, it would be sending a message that you were somewhat of a loose person. But nowadays, because of the punk thing, we get people dyeing their hair, we get people, I won't say the tattoo thing because that's probably more goth stroke heavy metal, but yeah, I think that people do that because they want to register with their own subculture. Ironically, people that feel they follow fashion usually imitate other people's fashion. So to be new, it's very hard because you're usually copying a style. I mentioned Paul Roller earlier, and he's a kind of style icon for mods. But if you look at someone like Lemmy, who would have been a style icon for heavy metal. So, yeah, people, I mean, I hate fashion. I hate fashion because fashion usually means what's in the shops and what you've been told to buy.
Okay. But there's another side to it, the subculture side. Is that fashion as well? Or is that...
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If you look at the punk thing, you know, loathe it or like it, it was a particular fashion with the pins and, you know, the torn shirts or whatever, and, you know, and yeah. So if you look at the Sex Pistols cover of Nevermind the Bollocks, it's like bright yellow and pink. So I think, you know, there's a certain style there.
I want to know about Sam's living next to some skinheads.
I was just taking myself back when you said that, because
It's Aberfeldy stories, and we are wanting to hear stories, but...
this is another area altogether when they used to be my neighbours.
Where was this? Can you say?
So it was in Greenford, Middlesex, and I was thinking in school, we was maybe 3 Asian people in the entire school, and so my background's from Pakistan, so we don't actually cover up, so my mum never covered up, and my mum was just saying actually this earlier, that my mum, if you put a blonde wig and put blue contacts, you would have think she was an English woman. You wouldn't have think she was Asian, so she had a pink undertone. And so I think the skinheads, even though they were sort of large numbers, they would wear the DM boots and all that kind of stuff. You'd see them walk around. And because back then, you was able to you were, like they say, when the sun goes down, that's when you went home, you know, for dinner. And I was a lot younger than these skinheads, and they were all and we had a playground right behind my house. And they were the ones who actually protected us. Right. So a lot of people were scared of them, but they actually looked after us. Right. But I have to say, back then, you couldn't tell I was Asian because of my mum's looks, and now I love the sun. I'm saying get as brown as possible, but I love a bit of colour. Yeah. And yeah, but a lot of people used to think they were intimidating, and yes, they did, because they used to walk in crowds and things like that. But actually, when I was growing up in school, and they were the older lot, they were the ones that actually looked after us in the playing ground. If anybody knew people came in, anybody knew who came into playground, they weren't allowed. So they were lovely. Okay, but they did protect the whole neighbourhood. Yeah, so that's why when I see anybody like that, I don't find them intimidated, because I remember they're actually there they're human at the end of the day.
There's a couple of hands up there, but just before we do, I just want to and I think this goes back to what you were saying, Julia, about about nature, and maybe we could, how would people feel about having a wildflower meadow down the middle of Aberfeldy? It might annoy some of those car drivers. I don't know. I've got a feeling. Yeah. Have you got something to say about that?
Just even more than that, how could we sort of capture the stories of nature, because it's they're so special, isn't it? But they don't have language, but they're as intelligent as.
What about if the flowers or birds could tell their stories? What kind of stories could they tell? Yesterday, we were hearing a little bit about the tortoise eye view of Aberfeldy Street. I'm going to come to you in a second, but I think, Mohammed, if you wanted to say something, just come forward. Come on, you can do it.
The sofa is quite heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep on the topic before about the skinhead. I grew up in Italy, North Italy, and we are very close people as a mindset. So if I see somebody like foreigners, we try to avoid him anything like any sort of connection whatsoever. So growing up there in the first 6 years, it was like free for all for me, so I could not have any friends. But at one point when I was 15, 16, it's like I got accepted, so everybody knew me, and everybody was like, yeah, that's Mohammed, how are you, let's go for a drink or whatsoever. And I remember like on the news we're like living a Moroccan background, so my parents are from Morocco, so one of the first news was like always a Moroccan guy killed, or drug dealing, so I was always scared to leave my house because I was like, they're gonna think it's me or something like one of my relatives or whatsoever. So they said, no, but you're good, you know, because you grew up here, so we know. But I said, but if he's like another Moroccan, but like, yeah, probably another Moroccan, but you, because you grew up here, you accepted you.
Because you were like a neighbour, you were exempted from the kind of racism,
yeah.
the local racism.
Yeah, they like take me as a sort of symbol of the good side of that, you know. Yeah. But I said to them, but if I just go like 10 miles away from here, I go in another town, what are they going to think about me? And yeah, they're going to just think I'm the other Moroccan, foreigners maybe come through the boats, with all the pros. Because that's happened once, I was in a bar, and I was born and raised in Italy, so my Italian is okay. I mean, you know, after 20 years, I think. Yeah, I mean, I went in a bar, and this lady, I just said to her, like, I want a toast and a Diet Coke, you know. And I got my stuff. After that, I finished my food, my meal. I went back. I said, can I have like a tea? And she was like, oh my God, your Italian is so good. It's so perfect. What? How is that possible? I said, sorry, madam, but I was born here. So she was like, okay. So it's still shocking that when I grow up, they still not consider me part of them, but yeah. I don't mind anymore.
Is it about the definition of what is Italian, or, you know, is that very much set in stone? Can it change to include the Moroccans that actually have grown up in Italy? Does that become Italian?
I mean, everywhere apart Italy, I'm Italian. I can go anywhere, I will be considered Italian. Even in Morocco, I'm the Italian. Yeah. But in Italy, I'm the Moroccan, okay. Because I think it's more the color skin. But when I'm here, even from my accent, the first thing is like, you sound Italian. And yeah, so that's kind of weird. At my home, I'm like the different one. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mohammed. Chris, you wanted to say something? Did you? No. You did say it. You have said it. You said it. Yes. It was Margot that wanted to say something. That's right. I knew someone wanted to say something. That's how it works. Talkaoke. Just grab the mic. Say something. Yes.
No, but I was thinking about this meadow and the kind of the colours that we were talking about. I wonder whether we could do like I don't know, just like a day of colour where everybody just like randomly just wears something really colourful and we just like get together. Because I think like for no reason whatsoever, like you never know. People may think we're crazy, but maybe people like enjoy it. It's like, oh, you know, because it's quite a brave thing to put yourself out there. So maybe next Talkaoke is the colour Talkaoke.
I mean, it's already kind of happening with, it started with Ian's cravat and it just went from there, Akbal scrubs. Everyone's going to go more colourful for the next Talkaoke. It's not just going to be me. But we've got a new face over here. Tell us your name.
Sophie.
Sophie, let's have a round of applause. We're talking about the colour on the street. Are people actually expressing their inner colour? We heard there's a concept of the inner colour.
I was just thinking maybe there could be a new festival created on this street, like the Festival of Flowers, where a specific day of the year, everyone dresses up in flowers. And, you know, just where I live, they have a festival called the Clown Festival. Every year, like in a church, it's called the Clown Service, and people come to the area for that. So would it be nice if people come to this area because of the Flowers Festival or the Birds Festival or something like that?
Okay, so there's a clown festival. Whereabouts you live?
Oh, you know, I live in Haggerston, Hackney.
Do you like to let us know when the next time?
I will do. It's happening soon, I think.
Yeah, okay. So there's a clown festival in Hackney, Helena.
Whoa.
It could be a flower festival.
Yes. So what I was thinking about is all this talk about colors and flowers and birds. What if you guys came up with stories about flowers and birds. Basically, what if flowers and birds could tell us your stories?
Okay, I think that was the point I think that you were making, Chris, wasn't it? That what is the animal eye view, or the flower's eye view of Aberfeldy Street? What would this plane tree say about? Because I mean, the plane tree's been here for 100 years or so. What would they say? Yeah.
It would say, please stop calling me a plane tree. I'm quite colourful within.
All right, yes, I think that's more of a... yeah. No, well, I'm not. It's not Ian. It's the plane tree that I'm talking about. I mean, who just came up with that name? A plane tree. It's a bit of a plain Jane sort of name, isn't it? Anyway.
That's why trees have all got names and they've got reasons, and they provide shade and fruit and all sorts of things. So they actually provide lots of to us. That's why they say plant more trees, because you'll never ever go without a tree. I mean, everywhere you go, there's going to be sun. Provides.
So the tree is providing a kind of life.
But yeah, for every person, from a bug right to everyone, it provides a home or shade, protection. So it's not just a plain tree. I'm standing up for all the trees in the world.
Well, what would if this tree could tell a story, what would it say?
Remember me. I used to live in Essex, in Loughton, and I was just saying, we had a screensaver on our digital thingy course. And I said, every time I would take the children to school, I would actually see the two trees on both sides actually kissing each other from the top. And I'd walk down this thing, but it didn't have a road. You literally had to run into the grass just to avoid the trees. Exactly, the trees love each other. They do.
Hang on. Hang on a sec, Carl. Don't think I haven't spotted this. Just about trying to sneak out without giving a final thought. Can you believe it? Yeah. Can you believe it? Okay, give us a final thought, just now.
My final thought is I've been sitting there for about 25 minutes, needing to leave, but couldn't think of a final thought.
Okay.
I didn't scare you off, did I, by my colourful personality, because you're so quiet and I'm so loud.
I tell you what, I could give you a fine. Are there any managers today, football managers today, that have got the same effervescence as Bill Shankly and the same, or is that a past era? Just give us,
I just thought Klopp when he was here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah. Like in terms of personality, he was quite infectious, wasn't he?
Yeah. Okay.
I should probably talk into the microphone
This way. Exactly. Don't gesticulate with the mic. That's like basic mic technique. Don't gesticulate with the microphone. Anyway, let's give just about a round of applause. Maybe it's time for a change of guard anyway. Does anyone else want to have a go in the middle of the table? Want to try out this? Because also I've got a lot of opinion. I want to maybe develop this tree. I quite like the idea of a tree falling in love with a tree on the other side. That's a beautiful sort.
While you think about who's going to sit in the middle, I just want to say the trees, you can look at a tree and know what season you're in, so you don't even know anything about time, but you say, okay, the leaves are on, the leaves are about to fall off, the leaves are on the ground. We know what season we're in, and we know how to live accordingly, what clothes, okay, it's going to be a little bit chilly, so, and they bring so much life into the world, and they bring so much oxygen, and that's what we need. And without trees, we can't survive.
Okay, so they're actually giving us something for free. They're giving us oxygen for free. Yeah.
Shade, oxygen.
Yeah.
Just a short one.
Yeah.
Trees were the first gifts that God put on this earth for the enjoyment of humankind.
Okay. But what would a tree say? Would the tree say, please enjoy me? Would the tree say, I'm throwing you some shades? What would the tree say?
The tree is saying, know me, study me, understand me, what I do for you in return. Each one of us have our unique gift. Know all about it and enjoy it. Okay. We cure you, we feed you, we warm you, we make shade for you. the sky is a limit when you get to know the trees.
Okay, amazing. Maybe we should have a tree in the middle. Sadly, our plant died because that could have gone in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. What is that cat food you've got there?
You're going to show me what is that?
What is that?
Cat food from here.
It looks like cat food.
Well, it's a tofu pate that I got in Poland. That's the only thing I've got to eat because I'm just really hungry. Anybody can get me dinner anytime, but for now it's cat food for me.
I swear to God, it looked like cat food.
It did look like cat food. I was wondering. Simon's joined us on the table.
Welcome, Simon.
Is there any reason for that? Have you got something that you want to?
He's not scared of me. So that's good.
No, I was just tired. So Margot offered me the seat and I thought I'd join the big league.
Any reflections so far? Because you're not said anything yet, really.
No, I'm feeling a bit quiet today, which is unusual for me. But I don't know. No, I really like the tree chat. Trees are vital and incredible. And I think if the trees was communicate to us, I'd say the longevity of their lifespans is like, it makes ours incomprehensibly short, you know. And I think they'd probably just say whatever you think is whatever you think is important is really not that important at all. Just think about the long run.
A bit like Tommy the Tortoise.
Simon,
That's worrying.
can you tell me why you got the eye tester on your T-shirt, please?
What's going on with this? Talking about colourful clothing. What's going on with that? I thought it was saying something, but I couldn't really work out.
An eye test.
It does say something. I did a screen printing course, and this was a design that I made, and just used it to test screen printing. It does say something, but you have to work it out.
It was a print test, not a screen test.
Yeah, it can be both, right?
Not an eye test, shall I say?
Tell us what it says. Go on.
Talk about after, isn't it?
Another time, I've got a feeling, you know from this, if you've done this for a while, you know, don't force people. If they don't want to do something, there's probably a good reason. Maybe it'll come out later. Maybe it'll come out later.
I'll be looking at his chest all night then. Is that what his idea is?
Maybe it's gonna. He wants to do a shirt swap or something. Adam, you were gonna say something.
Yeah. Just a quick one. I mean, what's the average lifespan of a bird? Because I'm just so curious to see like what the birds would have witnessed in this area. Would they have witnessed generations? I mean, yeah.
A bird? What's that? Okay, we know that a tree and a tortoise is quite long. What about a bird? Any nature experts here? Where's Akbal? Akbal's normally our... That's just when we need him because he's the sort of person... Eggers, do you know anything about... How long does a bird live? Okay, we're going to have to hold that one.
Really morbid. I've been watching Hitchcock and I hate birds. So I don't like... I'm happy for them to live long as they're not near me. And I hate pigeons, so... I love pigeons at birds at a distance. But anything flapping... I don't think flapping...
Yeah.
Even if they're in a cage, I'm like, no. Yeah, no flapping around me, please.
All right.
Chris wants to say something.
Yeah, go on.
A quick follow-up. So I think the Museum of London's new logo is the pigeon. I think on this idea that it kind of unites all boroughs, that wherever you go, you might see a bit. Just wondering, that doesn't land with your... No.
What do you think? Does the pigeon represent London? Is it a good choice?
I was sceptical at first, but I think as I kind of started to notice them a bit more, they're everywhere. So it's like there's something kind of unifying about them. But
Okay, so you think... Okay, I'm going to come to you in a second. We've found out about the average lifespan of birds. But hang on. We need to get a final thought from... Okay, hawks, 8 to 20 years. Eagles, 20 to 25 years. Seabirds, 30 to 50 years. Okay, it must be all the omega-3s. Jay, give us a final thought before you go.
Thank you. A final thought. Such a privilege. I was sat back there and immersed in all of your colourful personalities, and carry on.
Is it a kind of colour bath now?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, so profound. I love what this lady was saying, and it's left me with a food for thought. Why do we perceive colour at all? What is its purpose? So...
Why do we see it? I mean, it doesn't really have a function apart from traffic lights. It's more of a decorative thing, isn't it? So why are we perceiving all this colour? and enjoying it as well.
Yeah. Well, another line of topic for you all to follow through. But thank you so much, everyone.
Okay,
Cheers.
let's give Joe a big round of applause. And that just goes to show why it's always great to give that final thought, isn't it? Because, hang on a second. Are you off, Chris? Okay, still around.
No, I was just wondering why seabirds live longer than eagles, because that was a bit surprising.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of the fish and chips that they eat, but I'd like to know why. That was all.
Why do seabirds live longer than eagles and hawks?
Got to be a gag in there, isn't it, eh?
Got to be a gag in there, so.
I don't know it though.
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
Okay, work on it, okay. Maybe it's the seafood diet, that's another gag.
That's the one.
Yes, come and join us. Yes, just give this person a round of applause. Okay, welcome. So I'm going to do we're going to swap over, but maybe you can do the round of names because because that will help you. If you jump in the middle of the table, you need to ground yourself in the middle of the table, and asking everyone their names can actually be useful. I'm going to hold off on the names. I'm just going to say this one name, which is Margot Przemirska. Let's welcome her to the middle of the table. Give her a big round of applause. She's been very colourful today as well, and also outgoing by putting her shirt on back to front as well.
This is how it's shaped.
Is it? Oh, really?
This is a design.
Oh, it's a design. Okay.
Seriously.
Nevertheless, it's very. It's what's the word? It's very. What is? Come on, help me, Ian, please. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna. Oh, my mic's gone. Sorry. Anyway, over to Margot. Give her a big round of applause.
Hello, everybody. I'm just going to get myself set up here, but welcome. Hundreds of people tonight, so that's good. Of course, this vacancy in the middle is still a vacancy. If anybody wants to have a go, you are welcome. I was hoping Sam would jump in, but she conveniently disappeared. But anyway, let's do a round of names. So you know my name, it's still Margot. What's your name?
Mikey.
Mikey, round of applause, please. Such a fantastic job in the middle.
I'm Sam.
Sam, you can change your names, by the way, if you want to.
Shabs.
James.
Matthew. Joe.
Roxy.
Kathy.
Ella.
Chris.
Simon.
Mo.
Drake. Carl. Donovan.
Oh, wow.
Fulia.
Sophie.
Eleanor.
And yeah, we've got some spare seats, so Matthew, come on through if you want to sit here as well. Do not be shy. So right now, this is round number 2 of Talkaoke, and the way Talkaoke works, it's up to you to decide on the subject that we discussed. We talked about colours, we talked about plans for the street, we talked about putting yourself out there, talked about talking, talked about comedy, Aberfeldy stories, but where do you want to take this? Mikey's got some strong views, please.
No, I mean, this is just like the standard Talkaoke technique where you just merge all these things together, which would be a colourful comedic story told from the point of view of a tree, of the history of Aberfeldy Street in a colourful way. I think we could do that.
Okay.
I think we could make it happen.
Okay, so the tree, kind of the merger of different ideas is the one for you?
Yeah, link it all together.
Okay.
I wouldn't give the mic to that person sitting over there until they come and sit on the front. Come sit in the, yeah, come on!
All right, so person coming forward, Ellen.
You know what? Sam was just talking about pigeons. I think, somebody was talking about pigeons. So I thought, let me have a look at the benefits of pigeons. One of them is that pigeon milk produced by male and female pigeons. Oh, hold on a minute. Basically, they're looking at the health benefits of pigeon milk. So I don't know. Maybe, pigeon milk. They're looking at the health benefits. Because, you know what? I do struggle to sometimes see the benefits of pigeons. They're kind of a bit of a pest to me. They keep coming on my balcony and, anyway.
Okay, so what are the benefits of pigeons? Is it their milk? Has anybody ever tried a bird's milk before? Christopher, have you? Mo?
Unfortunately, no. Yet.
Have you tried any other kind of animal liquid?
Liquid? No. Hopefully, because because I don't ask what I'm eating. But even I said that once, if I go somewhere, they're gonna give me like rats. I'm like waiting for it. Yeah, maybe it's good. God knows. But I have to wait.
Maybe we're missing.
Yeah.
Maybe we're missing out. Are you talking about benefits to pigeons? Yeah, you've got something. Yeah. Milk.
It's not about, well, I think like bee milk is honey, isn't it? So everyone likes a bit of honey, apart from vegans. But that wasn't what I was going to say. I was going to say that compared to rats, squirrels get all the love, whereas the rats get no love. And I noticed that because I was cycling on the street this morning and there were not a rat, a squirrel just ran straight in front of me. And I was thinking, oh, little cute squirrel. But if that was a rat, I'd be like, hey, the rat. But the rats are the same as squirrels, but just with fairy tails.
Is it just about a different kind of clothing that squirrels wear? Juliet, are you leaving us?
I have to.
Juliet, that's okay.
It took me over an hour to get here.
Where did you travel
I
from?
traveled from Kentish Town, and I'd gone for medical, and I've been told not to go to rest.
Okay,
So I've got to be obedient.
Yeah, you have to do your thing. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for travelling all this way. So give a round of applause. Get home safe to Kentish Town. Take care, Juliet. Okay, so are squirrels just rats in better clothes?
It's actually about territory. Squirrels don't come into human-built territory, and they're basically in their trees and places, so we fine with them. But the rats are entering our houses and things humans have occupied or captured, and that's why we sort of don't like them. It's like if they're trespassers at the end of the day. That's how we see them. That's why we hate them. It's not about what they're wearing.
Okay, it's not about the rats' clothes. It's more about the fact that they don't understand the boundaries. I'm going to come to Matthew before I come to you, Simon. Sorry, James.
Who's Matthew?
That's my second.
This one. Have you been to Mudchute Farm?
Yes.
Have you encountered the squirrels in Mudchute Farm?
Is it the squirrels?
No.
Is it like the area, the squirrels?
Anyone?
No.
No, they are nuts. Squirrels normally run away from you, but they run towards you. They're very, very aggressive. It's the only space I've ever seen where squirrels almost attack you.
Okay, so be careful. Don't go to Mudchute Farm without your squirrel protection. These girls are going, so sorry, rules. I'll come to Sophie, then Carl, and then Simon, and then your good self. It's a bit of a queue system. Okay, is this the final goodbye?
Yes.
Please give us your final thoughts.
Final thoughts, the three just...
The totty trios. I don't know, it just... It's my first time. I had didn't know what to expect. It was better than what I thought. And we
did really enjoy ourselves.
And I just noticed there's just as much nutty people out like me, so I was happy.
That's why they all come. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us at the end. Thank you.
Nutty wenches from East London, Cockney.
Thank you. Pigeons or squirrels for you?
Squirrels.
Squirrels?
Yeah.
Is that your final thought?
Amazing tonight, really, but I'll stick with the squirrels.
Squirrels. Keep the
Yeah,
squirrels.
I'll kill a rat any day.
Okay, great. For your rat. If you need to get rid of a rat, go and speak to Sam. Thank you, girls. Okay, there was a queuing system. No, he was not before you. You were before. Simon just kind of left the building. Yes.
Okay, I think the difference is the diet. So the squirrels have a very specialized diet, while the rats and the mice, they eat exactly what we eat. Therefore, that's why their territory is our territory, because they find exactly what we eat where we are.
Okay, so is it a diet thing? What diet are the Mudchute squirrels on that makes them so kind of aggressive? Are they drinking Red Bull? I don't know. Sophie, I promised you the mic.
Well, matter of fact, I've just come back from Rome and they ain't got a single squirrel over there. They've got pigeons.
Yeah.
Italian pigeons.
Do they kind of make the Italian
No.
Gesture with their wings.
Yeah.
Italian pigeon language?
Piccioli.
Piccioli. And to be honest, Piccioli.
Because I've just come back. I've just got back this Sunday. Just got back.
What
was happening in Rome during?
Well, no, just had a visit over there because of the Pope dying as well. Lucky enough, I was over there with my godmother, and we were just over there at the time, so went and saw him. But it was pretty good.
Okay.
That's why I've got the tan, as you can see.
Okay, so a bit of tan, fresh export from Rome. Thank you very much. Who was next? You? No, not you. Simon left. We said no. Joe, and then I'll come back to you.
I think one of the big things about rats versus squirrels is squirrels have hands, and so they can they can hold things, and they're not just, it's not all feet touching the ground.
Is it creepy?
It's what, squirrels?
Or just like the hands thing?
No, I think it's cute. I think we want to see animals with hands.
Okay.
That's why Ratatouille, the movie, worked, because
Which one?
the Ratatouille movie, he was up on his hind legs and...
But Joe, just because you've got the mic and you are a musician, and I know that you're going to be working on this Aberfeldy anthem at some point. I mean, what kind of sounds should we? And this is a question to everybody. What kind of sounds should we be having? Should we be having the squirrel sounds, the rat sounds, the pigeon sounds? Can that be part of the anthem? The soundscape? Just I don't know. Yeah. yeah. How do you see it? Yeah, it's a question.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't sound like it.
That was something I was thinking about today, about how there's probably lots of different sounds that when you walk down the street, or you can, like the guys who are boxing, you can hear them running up and down the pavement. You might be able to hear them doing drills, and like, though there's lots of sounds that'll be on the street that we can maybe put into the song as part of the texture, the fabric.
Could people bring sounds to you?
Yeah, if you record something on your phone,
Okay.
we can put it in.
Fab. Thank you very much. So sounds of the street. If you have any ideas, give us a shout. Mikey then. So no, Ian.
Oh, thank you so much. Don't worry.
Even if I forget what they are.
So, fun fact about squirrels, they do get into people's houses, they get into their lofts and they chew through the wires on these estates even. Another fun fact is that, last time I heard, it's illegal, if you corner a grey squirrel in your home, it's illegal to let it out. Illegal to let it free because it's classed as a rodent, but vis-a-vis the red squirrels. And when it comes to music, I'll just say it, I think Simon should sing something in this because he's got such a sexy voice.
He does, doesn't he?
I mean, and he does it so effortless. That word, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that one. I'll look it up later. So Simon, I'll come back to you. Maybe you can just spit some bars for us, or use your kind of like Barry. What's the artist? Yes, the bass voice.
But I mean, I think that trees make a lot. Going back to the trees, they make a lot of sound, and a friend, because I know a few arty people. I've got this friend that does actually tree voice stuff. She's actually written a novel from the perspective of a tree. It's good, yeah. It's tremendous.
Is it called?
No.
Thank you, Mikey. Yes, Sophie, I'll come to you, Ellen. And then.
Well, before I moved to where I am now, I was indoors. Or a friend of mine was indoors, and I was out, and she suddenly heard this squirrel, and it's actually come through the kitchen window and made her jump. I've heard a rumour about pigeons, they're classed as flying rats.
Okay, so flying rats. It's illegal to release a squirrel. Guys, I've never known so much about squirrels up until now, so thank you, everybody, for this collective knowledge.
Unfortunately, my final thought, but just following on the point that he made about squirrels coming in, not letting them out, it's the same with bees, right? If you have like a big bee come into your home, you're not meant to let them out because they just want water and rest. I wish I knew this before I hoovered one out, but anyway, that's a whole other thing.
Okay, we'll keep it a secret. Thank you very much, Ellen. Give her a round of applause. Goodbye, Ellen. So this is it. Yes, so we're still on the subject of rats, squirrels, sounds, and somehow, and Simon's sexy voice. It's a crime to have a sexy voice and not use it.
Yeah.
No, Mikey, there's a rule. He's got the mic.
Do you know what? Like, I want to tie everything in, right? Because back in 2023, I was commissioned to produce a soundscape for the South Bank Centre called reframe. So 83 POC artists were commissioned to essentially respond to climate change and sustainability. So within my research in understanding how, for my culture, African Caribbean roots, how can we reconnect with our own ancestry through the lens of actually attaining, actually like committing to change within, for us to like feel more empathetic but also actionable regarding climate change. So within the soundscape, I was deep in the I'd say Rwandan region. So insects, kind of like the actual sounds within the actual tribes itself. And for me, what's interesting is the more I found out about my own ancestry, the more I was able to appreciate life that is just outside my door and window. And for me, the larger question is like, how can we as society reconnect with nature and be more optimistic in terms of us taking precautions and next steps for a better future for humanity.
That's great what you're saying, because also like this looking deep into your own ancestry made you appreciate the world outside. So maybe it's like the way of looking or the way of seeing the world and connecting with nature, with history. And things like
No, I mean, I think that's inspirational for an area like this because, like, you know, just as I mean, obviously we don't probably have as much wildlife as they've got in Rwanda, but we've got wildlife here and we've got, you know, we've got trees that tell a story. As we said, they're hundreds of years old, these trees, and they're telling a story and they're making sounds, and so are the animals. Some of them, like the tortoise, are quite old. So, you know, and I think it's just about I was saying to someone earlier on today that sometimes you have to go away from a place to kind of appreciate what you've got here as well. So, you know, and you know, like, if we all, you know, went on a trip to Rwanda, we'd probably then start to miss some of the sounds that we didn't hear. Like this, I actually, in my back garden, I can recognise all the birds. I've got parakeets, I've got magpies, I've got crows, I've got seagulls. That's it, really. And a blackbird as well. No chickens. I'd love to have a chicken, but too many foxes. They've got foxes too. But all of those things, you probably would miss them if you went to sleep somewhere else.
Okay, so has anybody ever missed a sound that's around them? I promise mic to you, and then I go and you, Carl.
Yeah, just segueing on from the last 2 points, really. I was a mate of mine recently downloaded an app so you could recognise bird calls. So he was literally hearing all these bird calls in his back garden and he didn't know what the sound of them were, and he realised he wanted to be more connected to it, and so he downloaded this app and he started listening and he started identifying them, and then after a while he said that now he's hearing the world in an almost completely different way. He's hearing more of the world than he ever thought possible, and he's listening in a different manner. So a lot of it is just connecting to what is already existing there, but changing your kind of perceptual lens so that you can hear the things that are around. Yeah, that's it.
Interesting. Yes, and Carl and James.
So I quite missed the human activity at the beginning of the pandemic. During lockdown, I quite missed hearing cars and hearing people walking around and just that human activity. I heard lots of birds, lots of nature, you know, no, they weren't affected. They were making loads of racket. But I didn't like it. I felt very comfortable, and I still feel very comfortable hearing human beings and human activity. And
what is it? Is it just like makes you feel like, oh, there's okay,
people around. There's like, you know, because we're social. Yeah, we're social creatures. We need other humans. We live in tribes or in, you know, whatever. But it's all part of this. For me, at least, I think, you know, I went off into the woods in north of Spain for a little while. Oh, nothing. You could hear like wild pigs wandering around, rummaging around, and you could hear birds, and you could hear all of the nature. But it's proper creepy. I don't like it at all. I like roads and traffic.
Nature is creepy, says Agbo.
Well, the other, talking about the experience of COVID, for example, during the first times of COVID, when it's practically total lockdown, the one thing is the quality of the air. I mean, it vastly improved. I mean, it was almost like aroma, and then you could hear a London that we don't usually hear, with the birds and all the nature noises. And as soon as the lockdown finished, the cars came back, and no more birds, and no more this, and no more that.
Okay, so the vibe was killed, the aroma of London was diffused, or infused by, yeah. Welcome to you.
Well, last night I was asleep, and I could hear a load of cats out the back where I was. Cats just scratching, meowing, causing havoc. Yeah, loads of them.
What were you chatting about?
No, just making a load of racket. Yeah, a load of racket, like cats, and there was just, I think there's loads of them, and they were just everywhere.
Okay.
Kept me awake.
Could we do some kind of cat-based music, Joe? Just a question there.
Just going back to the idea of like silence. So I went to, during Easter break, went to my wife's, where her parents live. It's Berwick-upon-Tweed, which is the last English town before Scotland. I crossed over the Scottish border. I was like, yes, going over the Scottish border. It's only a mile away. And I went to this derelict church, and it was just so quiet. All I could hear literally was my tinnitus. That was in my heartbeat. I was just like, it's so almost painfully quiet. You know, as a boy born and raised in Tower Hamlets, when you come back, you're like, I like that noise. Do you need peace at times? But when it's just dead silent, I actually find it quite unnerving.
It's a bit scary. So, like, if you can hear your own heartbeat, then is that a good thing to hear? I'll come to you, Mikey.
Me now. Yeah. I just wanted to say there's some sounds that I remember that you don't get anymore. Like there used to be a very common sound in the morning of a milk float, which is a rattling bottles, and there's a particular sort of sound that anyone over a certain age could just identify it instantly, but anyone under a certain age just wouldn't even know what it was. And there's other things as well, like the boom, boom, boom of the train doors closing, because we used to, before they had the Star Trek doors on trains, they used to have these slamming train doors, which were really loud, but it's also, you know, it's quite nostalgic if you hear that now. There's lots of sounds like that you just don't hear anymore because technology has changed or the habits have changed.
Is it possible to recreate those kind of milk floats? Or like, would you
I could probably get it on my phone if you want.
No, but I mean like recreating the real.
What you need is a crate, just a crate of milk bottles, and just rattle them, and then you get the same. Yeah.
This is not my childhood.
There could be beer bottles or anything.
I was just thinking on your point of silence. I was in the cliffs of Dover 2 years ago, and for the first time forever, I felt a sense of like peace, but also like an acknowledgement that how big this like the world is. Because I feel like in London as well, like I'm in Shadwell, and I feel so congested. So when I was in like those cliffs, I can just see like the interpass of just how wide open the field can be. And also someone who deals with like anxiety and stress a lot in my day to day, is like, for once I can just breathe. So I don't know if anyone can relate to that.
Yeah, this is brilliant. It's almost like you know, maybe we don't have that sense of space when you live in a kind of crowded, kind of Tower Hamlets. I mean, here we've got cars everywhere. It's a source of kind of it's a reassuring sound. But what about this kind of like open space? Can we access it from here? Should we build like a massive corridor to cliffs of Dover? I promise you the mic, so there you go. But I've seen you, Mo, as well.
Yeah, I can, being probably the oldest one here, I can relate to that. I remember the rag and bone man going around, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah, rag and bone man is somebody who used to shout like rag and bone, go down the street and bring out your dead. But I'm not that old. I think what you said is really important because it's like getting to the edge of the country and being able, you know, not being in the crowd anymore and having that vista in front of you of openness. And yeah, you're right, the sea makes you feel very small in a good way because you realise that in a way your problems are not that big either in comparison to the scale of the sea. And obviously, but yeah, and I love the idea if you're going to do music, having that kind of milk float as an intro would be really great, you know. So
Okay, so it could be like an evolving soundscape. Start with the milk float, maybe invitation to the seaside, a bit of meditation, a bit of like humans doing something, some squirrels. Yeah, it would be a very strange soundtrack, but yeah, Joe, it's easy. Any thoughts on this or something else? Thank you.
Yeah, I find it so interesting that like there's some people who are like miss the sound of traffic and the sound, like the hum of the city, because growing up in New Zealand where it's very there's hardly any people, there's just lots of nature, I physically miss the silence and the sound of emptiness, like the sound of like just a big open, like huge open space, massive sky and no one around. But it has meant that it's really like there's moments like when the marathon goes, because I'm also like around the Shadwell Cable Street area, on marathon day, like all the traffic stops and all you can hear is like cowbells and people cheering for runners and music, and it's really interesting how it changes the whole feel of the neighbourhood just from one traffic being diverted around. But yeah, silence, stillness. Yeah, but I think you need the contrast. I think you need to know, you need to experience both to know what you like, but also to have those moments of like, oh, there's something different.
But you know, I'm just thinking about this, like creating the anthem. Yeah, go on.
But there's one sound in London that is really unnerving, which is foxes in season.
What do you mean?
You always talk about.
I mean, all these crazy sounds that they make.
Could that be repurposed to some kind of, I don't know, like, no, it cannot be repurposed. So thank you for bringing that into the mix. That's exactly what we need. And you agree. I promised you the mic like 100 years ago, but everybody's coming with a lot of ideas. Sorry. That's a short one. You never get to play it. Sorry, everybody, because I found it. It's just a handle. It's a tradition. Whenever someone mentions the phone. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, I feel you actually. Yeah. Sometimes at 3 a.m. it looks like we're like trying to get into your house and stealing something, or just like foxes screaming like there is no tomorrow. And talking about the topic about the sound. When I grew up in a countryside, so for me it was like boring in the beginning. And I was always thinking, if I live in a city. I moved in London, and now I really wish to go back in the countryside because it's nice, like human activities and everything. But yeah, sometimes at 3 a.m. people drunk, screaming, it's just like, you know what, I may have to live in zone 6 or probably. But yeah, the rent is gonna be cheaper, traveling more. But in that terms, I think there is a beauty in everywhere. It's just about the balance at the end.
Okay, so beauty everywhere. But I'm just like interested in, can we repurpose these like crazy sounds, like the foxes, like the people drunk, whatever? Can that be made into something beautiful? It's just a question. Helena, and then.
Well, actually, as I was just saying to Joe, Elise, we were thinking of doing this duel between like a squirrel and a fox, and like what kind of sound would that be?
The squirrel and the fox mixed together.
Yeah, duel. No, but like a fight between the two.
Genetic experiment.
Well, that could also work. But like, yeah.
Okay. Would it be a good kind of sound to add to our soundtrack? Would it be just too bad? Would it be just too grating? Joe, do you want to add something?
Well, you could get the scream of the foxes and pitch it really, really low, and maybe it'd be an interesting bass line.
Okay,
Yeah, you know, because it's the pitch that makes it really,
So people,
like, yeah,
that makes it
puts you on edge.
Well, okay, people, do record your fauna and flora out there, and please bring the snippets to Jo. She's just going to sort it out.
I mean, on the previous Aberfeldy story, we had a guy that was really into the bats. And apparently there's loads of bats around here, but because they're ultrasonic, you need a special device to be able to hear those bats actually talking to each other. So talking about the pitch shift, that would also be an interesting sound, but it's not a sound that humans are familiar with. We've got final thought.
But you just reminded me, I recently had a dream about white bats, and I remember it wasn't a very pleasant dream.
Okay, white bats. Okay. All right. That's what it's all about.
So, final thoughts. Okay, so yesterday I was watching one of those documentaries to sleep, and it was interesting, the Fermi theory. I don't know if you have ever heard it. No? Yeah. So if we're like alone in the universe or not. So you start to make some question about it, and yeah, I hope you can enjoy to talk about this topic. It's very long. It's like 20 minutes video, but very philosophical. Okay. Thank you.
What do you think?
Maybe no. Well, probably just avoiding us to not pay taxes. God knows. So let's see. But yeah, maybe too far from here. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Noel. Well, in this small universe of Aberfeldy, you are not alone. Thank you for popping in. Kill the X-Files music, please. Okay, I've made my point. Okay, so yeah, so where do we want to take this? We're talking about music, talking about sounds which are just impossible to listen to, but maybe we can do something with it. Also different times of day, different areas, different parts of the world, different, welcome back Mo, different things. You know, we could be taking inspiration from all sorts of things. Carl, you had your hand up, but do you still remember your thought?
No, I was saying goodbye.
Oh, you were saying goodbye? Okay, Sophie.
Well, basically, when I was over in Italy, you could see the old horse and cart store on the cobbles, and you could actually hear the hooves hitting the cobbles. It was really therapeutic.
Yeah.
And the most crazy thing is out there, they drive at you even when you're crossing the road.
Okay, so they don't care, they just go where
They don't give a monkeys.
Yeah, okay. So they just do their own thing. I mean, okay, so do we need... Okay, so I think wildlife is something that maybe we could do. But the thing, my problem with having a wildlife-based anthem is you can't really sing along to it.
Ha ha.
Come closer, make some room for this one.
So you put a good bass line in anything and then you can sing along to it.
I don't know if that's true, but there are some experts. Mikey and then Helen.
Well, there's 2 points I want to make which are totally irrelevant from each other. One is about the sound of silence, and that, you know, when you go into these very silent rooms, you can hear your body, as you're saying, you can hear your heartbeat, and it can be very disconcerting because you hear all. I've got a sound effect for that as well, and you can hear it.
Maybe bringing back
Yeah. No, but I mean those. That what the point? Yeah, it's yeah. This might be a little bit dramatic, but anyway. But that is said to be like for dance music. Is that boom 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 is actually linked to the heartbeat. So I think it is a physical sound, but it's an internal sound rather than an external sound. I'm not going to make my other point because, oh, maybe I will, because we just had the opening of the Silvertown Tunnel. But the original Blackwall Tunnel was designed, why it's got all the bends in it, is because it was designed for horses. So there used to be like a continual parade of horses going down, not this street, but the street on the other side that is now the A12. with horses going down in the Blackwall Tunnel, coming out the other side continually in both directions. And I think that is history that has just happened, just a few decades earlier.
Okay, thank you, Mikey. I will also say that we're supposed to be going to 8 o'clock. It's past 8 o'clock. We will be wrapping up soon. So prepare your profound final thoughts soon, people. It doesn't have to be profound, but it can be. Be handy. Okay, so if you quickly.
Talking about that Silvertown Tunnel, I think it's it's a good idea, but I think it's ludicrous for what they're doing in regard to charges. And to get into the Silvertown Tunnel, you've got to come through Blackwall to get into Silvertown to go the other way anyway. Which is
Okay, so have they made it too complicated and too expensive? So people, I'm slowly veering towards final thoughts. I can do a little recap. I don't have to. Ian?
Just to say that if you, with the medium we have in history, it's usually about paintings and old photographs and that thing. Of course, the things you miss about that are the smells and the sounds. And usually it's to do with cobbles. I used to live near Smithfield Meat Market, and St John Street, which fed it, was totally full of cattle going down to the meat market. So you can imagine the smells and the sounds and the shouting and the animal noises that went in with that. Was that me? Sorry, I beg your pardon.
It's okay, you're among friends. So would you like to bring that back? Because, in this Aberfeldy anthem, we've got ability of bringing back old sounds. Mikey's going to be recreating some milk float with beer bottles, I guess, now. But would you like to bring the horses?
Not really, because you can imagine the mess they make as well.
Can you recreate the horse sound without an actual horse? I'll go to the expert. The expert is here, actually.
No, just Monty Python, the two coconuts, just.
Two coconuts, people.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that it'd be really, really cool to sort of do this evolving soundscape with some poetry or some rap on it.
Okay. Anybody wants to commit some poetry apart from obviously Ian? You've committed your poetry. What do people think about that? A bit of sound, a bit of music, a bit of poetry. Is it a series of different tracks? Is it just one long track? Are there words to repeat? Is there a catchy chorus? Is there the heartbeat beat, the dance beat beat?
So I was thinking, because in the last Talkaoke, there was lots of discussion about people love to dance. And so I think we need a dance track, maybe with some poetry, some spoken words, some rap over top of it. And then I think there needs to be a music theatre ballad. And I think there should be 2 songs. A-side. Or maybe an A-side and a B-side, yeah.
Okay, so are we going to...
Or maybe a soundscape that bridges both.
No, okay. Okay, so maybe just an MP3 in the end. But yeah,
No, because you are talking about for example, the meat market and the cows, the cattle. There was also the trains, the locomotives with the pew pew. The old trains. Then they got the slam doors. Then the new ones. You can follow a timeline.
Okay, yeah.
London, how it was, and then how it became today's London, and the noises that changed along the way.
Okay, so you kind of enter different time zones, and then you kind of listen to music, hear sounds accordingly. Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah, just to say that I've kind of done something similar with this exhibition. So with the soundscape, we had photographers taking pictures of images of nature, as well in terms of representing their interpretation of climate change, but also London, the city and aspects of nature within pockets of London. And I think what would be cool, what we did was essentially, it was a time-based medium exhibition. So as the score prolonged, the images reinterpreted what we was hearing and what you was visually seeing. And within the actual space, it was like a octagonal venue. So we had several screens, and essentially you have videos and images essentially interpreting the score, as well as the underlying core message of identity through our commitment to reconnect with our planet in pockets of London, essentially.
Okay, so the images were kind of interpreting the sounds. Was that done through AI or something? Was the artist working?
So I was working with the photographer as well as as well as a filmmaker, and we all basically sat together and basically came up with the concept called Planet Womb, which essentially was how us as humanity from I guess since the conception of time have essentially evolved through again from the Stone Age to Revolution period to today, and essentially tracking that time period to this industrial change and what we're heading into. So I think what will be interesting is to have the score, but also a visual interpretation, but also the environment in which it exists in, which will be cool. And I think it should be very interactual. And I love the idea of like people wearing maybe like if they want to, they can see it, but it also like an audio for those that are like an hearing impairment, that can have like audio version of it as well, so they can listen to. But that's just like something.
An immersion, like a sound and image bath kind of thing, tracking passing of time and development. I mean, that's a really great idea. Maybe we could create some kind of immersive capsule somewhere in Aberfeldy Street. Yeah, Christopher.
If you look at the screen, that's exactly what it is. It's like these booths.
We're finally caught up with your visualization. Thank you. Okay, let's have a look. Can we have a look? Yeah. I will come for final thoughts to everybody, but just shall we just have a look at this? Christopher, do you want the mic? Okay. Can you hold the mic?
Thank you. There aren't too many visuals today, sorry. But I will show you a few. Sorry, 1 second. I need to.
Okay, so we've got the flowers, the meadow.
Is this moving now? 1 second. Sorry guys, 1 second. I can't really see. I can't really see the screen and where my cursor is.
I'm going to maybe move the screen or something. I don't know, because the screen is fixed.
You could just turn the table. Towards
Christopher.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Tumble's there as well.
Mr. Tumble, yeah, that's culture.
Mr. Tumble's in Paris. Culture right there. And we've got Christopher's passport there as well.
Do they still have Mr. Tumble on CB? Yeah. CB? Yeah, I know what you
Okay, here we go, guys.
So obviously we started with this sort of like the three funny ladies of Aberfeldy and the sort of like the buzz around it. You know, you reach Aberfeldy and you're just like Googling where to find them. Then there was the meadows where nature takes over the street. There's none of these cars parked out there. And yeah, we see color as it is in its natural form. Wait. Yeah. Mr. Tumble goes to Paris. And then this was like the color of like, yeah, you know, everybody comes in with their beiges and grays and comes back, leaves with like colored stuff. There was questions about like redeveloping this street, and I was like, the bulldozer should actually bulldoze the gray bits of it and color them further on. And then the last one was these booths, which was basically everybody has such different stories about what sound they want to listen to. And because there's so much diversity, the sound that we actually remember or connect to is so different that these booths would actually be like a place where they can come and listen to the sound that they want to listen to, but still feel present at Aberfeldy in a way. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Christopher. That's a great encapsulation of the conversation for the last 2 hours, so well done for that. We are in the final thoughts round. Some people have given the final thoughts. Maybe they didn't realize they were the final thoughts, but this is the moment to say something. If you haven't for a while, maybe something new occurred to you about absolutely anything, maybe some ideas for what should happen as the Aberfeldy stories, the project develop. What kind of things you'd like to see happening? Mike, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, just because I just think today was all about the colour. I mean, we've been living on this street working on the street, not living here, but working on the street. It feels like we live here, yeah, for a long time. And obviously the colour thing is a big thing, but it's not something that we normally think about. But what it says is that people just want a bit more life and a bit more imagination, in my mind. It's not just about visual colour, but it's about conceptual colour as well. That actually, if we're going to tell stories here, there need to be colourful stories. They could be true stories, but they need to be. There's a lot about humour as well, which is a difficult thing. But quite often, some of these stories projects can be a little bit dry. Yeah, it's like oh yeah, back in the day we had the bombs and it was sad, but and the milk float. Yeah, whatever. But we need. I mean, it's fair enough, but I think there's definitely a call to have a little bit of humour or a little bit of kind of sideways or imaginative thought, which everyone is crying out for. And we've got, as some people have said, we've got the ability around this table and further in Aberfeldy Street to have that imagination. And I think, in a way, with this Aberfeldy stories, we've got a duty to actually enable that imagination.
Imaginative, don't get stuck in back in a day. Just think outside of the box, more colour. Thank you, Mikey. Sam, final thoughts. Give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you. I would like to thank you guys to arrange such a beautiful program. I've never been before, and so it's quite a new and very interesting event for me. And I would like to be invited again, whenever, wherever. Yeah. And the things we have been talking about tonight, it was tremendously beautiful about our, not only colorfulness, our own personality. That makes our mind colorful, our nature colorful, everything around us. Thank you so much, and once again, have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much for being part of this as well and adding your bit to the mix. And for sure, every single one of you is invited to be part of this project. So thank you. Okay, James. Sorry.
No, my final thought is this sort of conversation allows you to see things that have always been here, and that in our rush to go from A to B, we usually fail to see. So you stop a little bit and you look and you see things you never saw before. This is what it is about, this sort of conversation.
I definitely will see the squirrels in different light as creatures with hands. Never thought about that before. Well, thank you. I think you're right. Yes, final thoughts.
Yeah, I'll keep it short because I'm quite hungry. But, however, lots of food for thought. Hey! But it's been a great pleasure to just see the colourfulness coming out of Aberfeldy. It's always been like just a corner stuck between two dual carriageways. So it's been great to meet you guys.
Okay, thank you very much. Pass it on to the person behind you. Or maybe they can come forward. Mr. Chris.
Good evening. Thank you. Final thought. What a bunch of kind, thoughtful, humorous people, brimming with color on the inside. And can we perhaps consider smell to go with the color?
What smell should be there? Chicken shop? So food, flowers. Anybody? Is there a smell that you associate with this area or something that is,
Well, I was actually thinking from more of a kind of an empathetic position, because a lot of people during the pandemic, their sense of smell was affected. So I thought maybe we could incorporate a bit of that and just acknowledge, people's survival, that sort of thing,
So incorporate other senses as well.
'Cause I don't-
Sense the senses.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Margaret.
much, and thank you for being part of it as well. Helena, final thoughts.
Yes. So, firstly, thank you so much, Margot and Mikey, for hosting. It was absolutely brilliant. Great job. Woohoo. Yeah. I was just thinking of how cool it would be to do a sensory, following up on Chris' idea, a sensory theme for Aberfeldy stories amongst all of the other really cool ideas. Because I think that there's lots to be said about sound, smell, touch, what else? Taste, thank you. So food. And so, there's definitely lots to be done about that. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep the senses involved, particularly the taste. I think some people will agree. Kathy, step forward. Everyone trying to stretch out this mic.
Gosh, my brain's gone numb.
Do you find yourself kind of thinking about these Aberfeldy stories? What kind of story you would like to tell, or what is important? What kind of things maybe that we said, or something that you want to see happening?
I like the conversation, and the like a sensory fest sounds really good.
Sense?
Taste. And smell. I have an idea that one day there'll be smell-o-vision. That whatever you see on TV, they'll have different fragrances that would pop out whilst you're watching it. So people with sensory impairments can, enjoy that. I think technology is moving so fast. It can happen. Yeah. Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision, you got it here first. High five to you, Ian, as well. But I am going around the circle here. Thank you, Kathy. Give a round of applause.
Yeah, I think from all the ideas that we've had today across the last 2 hours, I think we need to make a festival. Because even if it's just there's a lineup of different things. We've got art on the walls. People are told you need to wear colour. That would be very, very cool. That's my final thought.
So it's a festival to step into to try everything. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for a great conversation, inviting me. Yeah, I love this idea of a festival of colour, smell, taste, and trying to maybe invite people that aren't just Aberfeldy local, but across London.
Okay, so we can create a buzz, like you had with the 3 funny ladies of Aberfeldy. Maybe it's going to be 3 funny ladies and the festival of Aberfeldy.
3 funny Aberfeldies.
I like the idea if Joe's making a tune, obviously it's collaborative, everybody's got all these different ideas, but I like the idea of having the parts, the stems available for anybody to remix and do whatever they want with it. I think that keeps the thing kind of open source and it keeps it going for a very long time, and you don't have kind of private ownership or say over something. It's a collaborative effort already, but it can continue to evolve after the thing's done. And then, you should definitely do like a slower main one, but if you're going to do a remix, it has to be 140. The grime is the last great subculture, and it came from right around the corner. So that should definitely be recognised. I think in the story of Aberfeldy, 100%. You can't put me on the spot like that. We'll come back to me next time.
There's no singing on Talkaoke, by the way, that's the rules. Thank you so much, Simon. Give him a round of applause. Bring back some grime. Maybe there's like a remix machine somewhere. People can just throw different sounds and just remix and see what happens. Anybody with remixing experience, obviously, step forward. Yes, final thoughts.
To be honest, when it came to the whole festival about sounds, colours, smells, tastes, I can't help but think about the people who have the I see sound stuff and just maybe see sounds, smell, colour, or stuff like that. I feel like if you were going to do something like that, maybe try and ask people like that to try and make experiences based off what they experience. I'm pretty sure that, I can't remember who its name was, but there was one person who actually did that. I cannot remember the name though.
Okay, so bring back the kind of connection between tasting the color or smelling the sound or whatever like this.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you have a favorite, like what is your kind of favorite sense or favorite sound, favorite color?
Well, to be honest, I'm not really the biggest fan in the sound because sometimes it just gets too noisy.
Yeah.
Especially this one.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. He's been on Talkaoke before, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes this one does not know when to do this. Just plain and simple.
Yeah. So maybe sound is not one for you. What about other senses? Do you have favorite ones?
My favorite one is sight, just seeing things, because in all honesty, reading, just seeing something and just thinking about, like, touching something, smelling something, they all have their own thing, but seeing something with your own eyes rather than in an image or on a flat screen, it's completely different.
So maybe we could have something like spatial, something people can come and see, not just see pictures of, but actually see it with their own eyes.
Yeah.
We could build something.
Like, if you see a picture of, like, valleys and hills, like, and you go see the real thing, there's a clear difference.
Okay.
Maybe we need to make a hill.
Maybe. Could we make a hill? Would that work?
I don't know. If you have enough stuff to do it, then why not?
All right, well, watch this space. Thank you so much.
Could have a stuffed fox with the noises. There's probably a few of them lying around in some antique shop somewhere.
Would you stuff them like holding hands, or like would you?
I don't know. Playing cards.
Playing cards. Playing cards as Fox comment activates the Fox sound effect. Thank you very much, Carl.
But just to complement what I said, is an eye, the eye of the mind. That's the idea, the eye of the mind. We don't only see with our eyes, we see with our ideas, with our imagination, and we can see even further when we imagine. Okay. And I think this is what this is about. It's about imagining, about seeing far ahead, more than we usually do on a daily life.
Okay, so lean into the imagination, see more.
Yeah, this reminds me that I was involved with the European Games for blind and visually impaired school children, and we went to London Zoo and they did a tactile tour of London Zoo. You can imagine the smell, the noises, but they also, London Airport, when they confiscate illegal furs going through the airport, they send to London Zoo, so you could actually touch the skins of tigers and that sort of thing. Also, from the same experience that we put on the disco for them, and being blind, everybody got up and danced because they had no idea that anybody was watching them. There's no concept of, oh, I'm going to be shy, because they have no concept of that. So why not have a blindfold disco?
Okay, blindfold disco. It goes on the list. Thank you very much. Julia.
Yeah, this was a really good talk. Okay, I really enjoyed it. So we started with colorful faces of Aberfeldy and the colorful Aberfeldy, and even the AI created lots of nature for us, colorful flowers and colorful birds and animals, and we also discussed about the foxes and their noises at night. So maybe it's time to exhibit all of these foxes, animals, squirrels as residents of Aberfeldy, and then maybe we can also create some discussions and some installation or something around this concept and theme. So that would be really interesting to exhibit them.
So I really like this. The residents of Aberfeldy, should they have like ID cards or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or something like this?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, it might be, but yeah, we should also test maybe on some of them, like just like a simple tag or a necklace kind of thing.
Like
so
a branded squirrel fur.
Yeah.
T-shirt.
All right, so don't be so human-centric, people. Just branch out to animals.
Yeah.
And yeah, just see what they've got to say.
Yeah. So that's
All
it
right.
from me. Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
very much, Julia. That was your final thought, Sophie?
I would think, why don't they paint the street every colour of the rainbow. That's what I was thinking. Even what they've got with the modern buildings, put a bit of colour on it, make it part of it. And putting some of these red multicoloured markings on the road as well, and on the pavements to make it more bright, colourful at that end. That's what I was thinking, or getting some of these big massive searchlights with all the colours in it and just scatter it across the whole street.
That sounds great. So don't build boring.
Right, the colour into it with the big giant spotlights of the old military spotlights they used during the war. Just fill them with some coloured inlays and just link them up and just stick them down their end and just light the whole street up in colour.
Okay, we'll try to organise that. Sophie, thank you very much. All right. Final thought for the final person. No pressure.
No. Do you know what's amazing? Because this is my first time here as well, and for me, how I explore my time existing is through color and through sound, and I think what is great is that we all are like connecting through sensory, but also appreciation of like an existence of being here, present today, and connection. I think that's the like underlying thing that I feel here, and what is important is to be connected as human beings, as well as through like our connection with our own like creation of earth, which is through animals, insects, and we're all connected together, and how we kind of deliver that through, which can be through a creative lens, is imperative for our history. So I feel like for me, it's like I'm of service to create any vision you guys have for people to like remember it for the rest of their lives, you know? So that's me.
Okay, create impact, create history, but be present, so thank you so much for the final thought, and thank you for being present tonight. Over and out. Christopher, do you have any final thoughts? No. Have you spoken out now for your visualizations?
Yes.
Thank you, Christopher. Okay, Mike.
Let's have a huge round of applause for Margot in the middle. We haven't worked out what the day is. It's going to be at the end of May, but we want you to come wearing something a bit more colourful. That colour could be black, it could be white, it could be grey, but we want you to be wearing more colour. Could be a squirrel, red or grey squirrel colour, could be fox coloured, could be pigeon coloured. Even with the pigeons have got that little bit of, they've got that little colourful scarf, haven't they? But yes, next time we want to see colour.